I never want to see a monkey, like a gorilla, lift up its pitch, chat, and just start wafting this pheromone spray that goes around my face. I don't want that. And also, that's dancing sexily. No fucking thank you. Hello, I just wanted to thank you for clicking on my video, and I wanted to let you know not only do I create content in my YouTube channel here, Class in a Glass, but I'm also on Twitch where I play single-player games, multiplayer games. I do movie reviews, cartoon reviews, and a whole bunch of other stuff. Also, it would be a big help if you can check out my Patreon, where you can gain access to audio commentaries, reactions, and the ability to submit questions for my podcasts and videocasts. And all that content can be found in the links below. In the meantime, enjoy the video.
It all comes together.
We're going to need a bigger cave.
Batman and Robin.
I am refreshed. We're usually the Cool Slayer. Welcome to stream. Yes, Chad, this was Mistress Chair. Hope you're enjoying it. I hope you enjoyed Mistress Chair. Hope she entertained you while I was away. But now, chat, now, my friends, we got to get into tonight's review. We have to get into tonight's review, chat. All right? It's a big one. It's a hefty one. It's a girthy one. It's a thick one, all right? That's why I keep telling you, chat. This one was long promised. It was long promised, chat. You've seen many reviews of Batman and Robin, chat, but you've never seen this one tonight. So, chat, typically, I open up these reviews by asking you a very specific question, chat. I want to hear answers. How many of you have seen the movie film, chat, Batman and Robin, the Joel Schumacher directed schlockfest classic? Very curious. Very curious about this. Chris Harris says many times. A lot of people say that. I think we've all seen this many times. Actually, I've seen it a few times. Too tall. Oh boy, again, so I don't remember this Batman movie with George Clooney, but I'm assuming this is the this actor Batman film. It is indeed. It's the sequel. This is Joel Schumacher's second Batman film. Toga, I've seen it, and it was terrible. The only great thing about Batman and Robin was the opening intro, production design, and the sound. They put a lot of fucking money in this film. This is an expensive movie to make. Hey, Brownie, now smiles. The one with the nipples, right? Hot. Goddamn right now, hey, Brownie. That one, indeed. You know, Panda says me. Also, many times, Welty Carlock, seen a couple times. What happened? Wish I could unwatch it. You rascal. A lot when I was younger. Mel Carizan, sadly, too many times ever I watched it with you. That's right. Now, I know a number of you did watch it with me, which is amazing. Some of you might have been your first time ever watch it, which is great. Hamilton Burger says, I have it on VHS. Libra with the fro. I loved it as a kid. Judas, speaking of Batman and Robin, I tried to get my lady friend to dress up as Mr. Free. She said, no! Lots and lots of times. Dad, good to see you. Oh, Glee. Yes, but a long time ago. Maybe 15 or 16 years ago. Very nice, very nice. Who else do you say? Antoine Films. What up? Good to see Antoine Films. Welcome, welcome. That's the Bat Nipples Arrow Pound. Indeed, indeed. We just saw this on Cartoon Network. Really? I didn't know they had this on Cartoon Network. Oh, look at that. You know, strong. You're getting strong. Pixel Mike, thank you for the I received a whisper from you, Pixel Mike. I'll respond in kind in a bit. Thank you, probably after the stream tonight. But thank you so much. Thank you for the 100 biddies. Bat nibbles and butt shots. Schumacher treats Batman the way Hollywood treats him. Yep. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. That's accurate. That's accurate. Glad I didn't miss the review. No, good to see you. So a lot of you have seen this film. Only guy saw a single person that said they did not. Chat. Yes. Like you, I did see this. I saw this film not in the theaters. I saw this in the very late 90s though, when I was obsessed with Batman. As I've said, you know, my first introduction to Batman was the original Batman, the animated series. Chat came out in 1992. Love that iteration of the character. And of course, all of the DCAU, chat. Superman, the animated series, and Batman Beyond, and Justice League, and Static Shock. Loved all that loved those shows. Probably, to me, that's the best adaptation we've gotten of these DC characters, in my humble opinion. But then you had the cinematic versions of Batman, chat. Let's turn the clocks back, if you will, chat. Well, let's talk about how we got to Batman and Robin, chat, okay? Let's turn the clocks back to the year 1989, chat, okay? 8 years before Batman and Robin, chat. We saw the release of Tim Burton's Batman, right, chat? It was branded as a gritty, dark take on the Dark Knight, my friends. Because the last time we had like a cinematic version of Batman, or like even like a live-action version of Batman, chat, it was the 1960s Adam West TV show right? Which of course has its, has its place in history, chat. I think Adam West and Burt Ward did a good job for what they were doing, of course. But then, it's like, hey, we got all these other Batman stories from the 70s and especially the 80s that really delved into the nitty gritty details of the Dark Knight detective, chat. Like really got dark with the material, kind of rebooted Batman in a cool way within the comics themselves. And that, Burton and other people were involved, were saying like, okay, let's do a more, at the time they were saying a more realistic, grounded approach of Batman. Even though you look back now, it's like, this stuff is fucking goofy, which of course it is, chat. And they did, and they did Batman 89. Yeah, there was a big controversy of casting of Michael Keaton as Batman. It's funny, everyone loves fucking Michael Keaton as Batman. You say, oh, he's the best one. Yeah, at the time, chat, people were fucking up in a furor about the cast of Michael Keaton. People were writing in letters, because this was before the internet, of course. And they were sending in letters to Warner Brothers to complain about the casting of Michael Keaton. This was before, like, the dawn of the entitled, fan boy or fangirl, if you will, chat. And of course, the movie came out. It was a fairly, a huge commercial success, fairly, critical success as well. Praise for Michael Keaton's Batman. Huge praise for Jack Nicholson's Joker, chat. It was a fucking hit, and it was the dawn of the Batman film series, chat. After Batman, 1909. I remember back in the culture. You even had, like, people were, like, literally, like, when they went to get their fucking haircut checked, they would get the bat symbol, like, shaved into the back of their head or the side of their head. Like, that's how popular it was. Batman was the biggest fucking craze, chat. You had the Superman 1978 movie, of course, but Superman franchise, that fucking fizzled and died out with, like, after 3 and 4. The Quest of Peace. You had fucking Superman saving goddamn, just fighting radioactive man in space shit, taking Lois up into space, saving Richard Pryor. It's like, we didn't need him. It's done. Let's do a new gritty take on Batman. Or new gritty take on superheroes in general. And then, shit, after the series Batman in 1999, said, okay, Tim Burton, the studio said, you have full range, you have full control over what you want to do. And Tim Burton's like, yes, finally. And he gave us Batman Returns, chat, which, is the second, in my opinion, it's the second best of that era of Batman films. Still fucking weird. Still really goofy, chat, where this time we have a rapey penguin, where he constantly makes references to, sleeping with women and wanting to fill their voids. It's like, I don't know if we can sell this to kids. And then you have Catwoman, you have goddamn Michelle Pfeiffer in a leather bondage suit, was just, prancing around, chat, making all sexual references and cat puns. A lot of puns in these movies, by the way. And they didn't start with fucking Batman and Robin or Batman Forever. They started in the Burton era, too. And, McDonald's was like, we're going to sell a penguin toy where he squirts water out of his pee-pee, but parents groups aren't going to like the fact that you have a character who's biting people's noses off and is talking about filling women's voids. It's like, this isn't good. This is good. And so the movie did not do critically or commercially as well. Still made money, but not near the same success as Batman 1989. So at this point, funny enough, Burton was ready to do a third Batman film, chat. He wanted to do a third Batman film. He had talked about getting Robin Williams to appear as the Riddler, chat. Like, that was in the works. Possibly to bring back Billy D. Williams as Two-Face. He was introduced as Harvey Dent in the first Batman film. Absent for the second one. I'm not sure why. He just wasn't in Batman Returns at all. And then maybe he was going to be brought back, but Warner Bros. Like, we need a clean break. We need to, put a little fucking humor in this. A little more sunshine, right? Something that's more akin to the original Batman 60s show, right? And so they got Joel Schumacher involved. He was hired on as director. Burton was still a producer, chat. And then you had Batman Forever, which I believe was a bigger commercial success than Batman Returns, no doubt about it. And I think even maybe a bit more of a critical success. You had Val Kilmer. Michael Keaton said, I'm not doing Batman again. I'm going to retire from the role. You got Val Kilmer in here. Val Kilmer back in the day, especially in the 90s. Huge fucking star. He was huge. He was like one of the most popular actors at the time, chat, doing stuff like Heat and Tombstone, Top Gun, chat. Like, he was the fucking bee's knees, as the kids would say, Chad. He's very schway, right? And he was cast as Batman Robin. And you had Jim Carrey as the Riddler and Tommy Lee Jones as Two-Face, Chad, which, funny enough, was you had these, again, two very popular actors. Jim Carrey was, I think, was the highest paid actor at the time. And then, of course, you also had Tommy Lee Jones, Two-Face. Apparently, they hated each other. At least Tommy Lee Jones fucking despised Jim Carrey, which I thought was very funny. Neither, and of course you had the recast. They didn't bring back Billy D. Williams yet because they didn't want a black Two-Face. That's the reason why they didn't want a black Two-Face. But at least they did pay Billy D. Williams again. He says, hey, if you're not gonna fucking use me, then give me my fucking money. That was a contractual obligation, so they did pay him, chat. Basically, hey, sorry, but that's what he did. So good for Billy D. Williams, and he later would play Two-Face, chat, in the Lego Batman movie. Thank God. Oh, little fun fact, apparently, chat. In the comics, I guess there's going to be this spin-off Batman 89 comic book series, and they're going to do what the third Burton Batman film would have been, or at least like an idea for it. We'll continue on, and you're going to see the Billy D. Williams version of Two-Face in that book, which I guess is coming out sometime this summer, which sounds fucking cool. I wouldn't mind reading that, and they're going to have the return of Catwoman in that, too. It's like, this is interesting. But you had the, completely recast. You had, fucking Jim Carrey's Riddler, Tommy Lee Jones' Two-Face, neither of which really acted as those characters. They were pretty much just aping, Jack Nicholson's Joker. They were straight up Joker. That's exactly what they were. It's like, I mean, maybe you kind of look like the characters, but you're not acting like them, Chad. But again, it proved to be a commercial, at the very least, a big commercial success for one of us. They said, okay, let's just fucking keep doubling down on this neon-looking Gotham, right? Because you had the Burton Gotham. It was a gothic, architecture, this kind of like Art Deco architecture that even the animated series adopted later on, for their episodes and things. And fucking Schumacher said, yeah, fuck that. I want Gotham to be kind of this Greek metropolis. These giant naked nude statues, male nude statues just adoring the city, just randomly holding up fucking buildings and shit. That's what I want. Everything to be filled with neon. I want pinks and purples and turquoise and blues and bright green. That's my version of Gotham, right? He's like, okay, let's fucking double down. That Togo, thank you so much for getting the sub to Teresa the Cool Slayer. Really do appreciate that. And then we got Batman Robin, chat, and it's like, okay, people at this point, they were fucking sick of it. This went too far. It went even beyond the '60s Batman series, which I have a place in my heart for that show. It's fun. I reviewed the original. Funny enough, the first Batman movie I think I ever reviewed, other than Batman Beyond: Return of the Joker, which I absolutely love, my favorite animated DC thing ever. I reviewed the 66 film. There's a lot of stuff to appreciate about that. Adam West is actually a very good actor. When he's not in the Batsuit, he's actually quite fucking charming. He's a very good Bruce Wayne, matter of fact. They actually give him a lot to do in the show, in the original movie as well. Fucking smooth moves, wooing goddamn Catwoman chads. Like, goddamn, I could see why you're the most, eligible bachelor in Gotham City, if not the world, if not the United States. Shit, I get it. Talented, right? But this movie went too far, where it was solely, they literally had McDonald's in the writing room saying that, no, we need to have random bat vehicles. We need to have everything be bright and shiny. You have to have different versions of bat costumes so we can sell these fucking toys to these kids. It's a commercial. That's what this film is. It's a commercial, and it's going to be fucking goofy, and it's made for kids. The thing is, Joe, chat, they spent so much fucking money on this movie. It did not turn a profit. This is the most expensive Bat feature, I believe, at the time. $160 million. I'm like, holy fucking shit. I couldn't believe it. Just shy of $40 million, chat, of $200 million. I was shocked by that. So merchandise. We need toys, exactly. It was all about the merchandising. Had a box of $238.2 million. They did not make their money back, chat. It was a bit of a commercial flop for Warner Brothers. And because of this, they literally put the Batman franchise on ice. See, it's puns. It's like, we gotta figure out what we need to do with this. And lo and behold, chat, 8 years later, we got that Batman feature film, and Batman Begins. Brought back the franchise, reignited interest in Batman cinematically, which thank God. And of course, we later got The Dark Knight and that whole thing. So at least we got two good Batman movies during that era, chat. But yeah, Batman Robin is known for being that film that sunk a lot of people's careers too. Like, it didn't just like, oh, it was it hurt Batman. No, it hurt a lot of other people. It hurt George Clooney. I mean, he eventually recovered, Chad. He became a leading man. Because at the time, like, he had done stuff like maybe Dusk Till Dawn, but he's probably best known for ER and Roseanne. Like, he was a TV actor, and he was making his big transitions. Like, you need a big fucking blockbuster film, right? And so he was like, oh, I'll be Batman. I'll be Bruce Wayne. What's fun, so fucking funny, Chad, because back at the time, people said, oh, that's perfect. George Clooney, he's going to be the best. He looks like Bruce Wayne. He looks like Batman. He'll nail it, Chad. And he's terrible in the movie. He's bad. He's bad in the movie. No one's good in the movie. I'll tell you that much. His fucking head's bobbing constantly. Like, George Clooney had a specific thing that he did when he was acting, where his head would constantly bob when he would say his lines, like this, like always. And you can even see it like in the costume shit. Like, his head will constantly fucking bob. It's like, well, what's wrong with him? Why does he keep doing that? And he says it was this thing that he had to stop doing. These people were just fucking making fun of him. But, you know, he eventually recovered from it, chat. He takes the blame for Batman and Robin. It's my fault. It's my fault the movie's so bad. It's like, no, it's not your fault. It was fucking McDonald's. It was Toys R Us. It was Warner Brothers executives. It was Joel Schumacher. Those are the people who were at fault. I don't blame the actors. Again, your actor, you are the instrument. And the person is playing you. It depends. Like you can be the most talented actor in the world. I've said this 100 times. Most talented actor in the world. But if you're gonna shit script and shit direction, you're gonna give a bad performance. Chances are, 99% of the time, you're gonna give a bad performance based on those things. He managed to recover. Killed Chris O'Donnell's career. I mean, what was he doing before after this? After Batman and Robin, you really didn't see him in anything else. Like he was in other things, I'm sure. He was a working actor, but he never got to like make another A Scent of a Woman, if you will, like with Al Pacino, an Academy Award nominated winning film. You never saw that from him. Alicia Silverstone killed her career. Arnold Schwarzenegger, this was during his time where it was that transition from like the big 80s action stars. Yes, he started the decade off really well in 91 with Terminator 2 Judgment Day. Huge fucking film, chat. One of the best action films, if not the best action film of that decade. But after that, you started to see his star waning. You know, it's like people weren't really into those kind of action movies anymore. And then he started doing these big sci-fi fantasy-esque films, comedies, if you will. And he just wasn't the biggest draw. He got top billing in this movie, chat. It was Arnold Schwarzenegger first in the fucking credits before goddamn George Clooney, anybody else, chat. And then, of course, you had Uma Thurman, who was, off the, huge success, obviously as an indie actress, chat. Major appeal after appearing in something like Pulp Fiction, got her Academy Award nomination. And she, of course, she did films afterwards, but her biggest decade again was the 90s. And after a while, she kind of fell off eventually too. She did the Kill Bill films afterwards, but after that, you don't really see her anymore. And everyone else is just like, yeah, just obscurity. Went into fucking obscurity, chap. That's what happened. What happened to Pat Hingle? Nobody knows, chap. He's still on the set to this day, frozen in time. But this movie had a huge fucking effect on a lot of people's careers. Joel Schumacher. Like, after this, like, yes, he did some other films. He did stuff like The Recruit, like several Colin Farrell movies. He did Phone Booth. He did some, he directed a lot of television, chat. But, it impacted you. It impacted him, chat. Tigerland did Tigerland. I know he's dead. But afterwards, you didn't see him. He did House of Cards, did a lot of House of Cards episode. Phantom of the Opera, yes, he did. He did that movie. That was, whoo. It was, I was not a big fan. Not a big fan. So, this movie's had a profound impact, not just on the franchise itself, chat, on the Batman character. Like, it hurt that. But other people's careers, too. But, chat, we got to go ahead and start and get into those nitty-gritty details, chat. We start with the fucking opening logo, baby. Opening logo, chat. You see the credits coming in. Not George Clooney ain't fucking listed first. No, Arnold Schwarzenegger. He is one of the most highest-paid actors, even of the 90s, shit, even though he wasn't making the best of films. You get fucking top bill, and you get $20 million to appear as Mr. Freeze. He got paid, chat. $20 million to make ice pun after ice pun. That's it. That's all he did, and to wear that fucking glowing blue suit. That's all he did. It's nice. That was a nice fucking paycheck. Thank you. Everybody's Togo. End of Days was so good. I was not a big fan of End of Days. Maybe I'll review that someday. Maybe I'll give it a second opinion. Maybe I'll change my mind if I watch it. It was easy fucking money for him, Galvarine, no question. Arnold Schwarzenegger, and you see George Clooney, then you see goddamn Chris O'Donnell, Alicia Silverstone, Uma Thurman, goddamn Michael Gould. Chat. Funny enough, the only person to, well, no, not the only person. Well, the only main character, I'll say, to survive the entirety of this Burton Schumacher film series that's other than Pat Hingle, it was a tertiary character. But Michael Gould, Alfred, he was the only person, the main cast, to be in all four movies. So I thought it was very interesting. He's just like, fuck it, this is an easy goddamn job. I'm not complaining. You need me, I'll need me. I'll tell you this, chat. Michael Gould gives the best performance in this movie. He absolutely does, because this whole film, you see Alfred's dying, chat. He's got, like, Hodgkin's disease or something, which is very specific. Steve, thank you so much for resubscribing. 1 month away from a full year from that Clear Whiskey sub badge. Thank you so much, Steve, and good to see you. Hope you're doing very well. Welcome, Juicy. Steve. Great to see you. Currently talking about Michael Gould's performance in Batman and Robin, chat. He gives the best one. He gives the most heartfelt performance. He has the best lines, chat. He is a father figure to Bruce Wayne, even when fucking George Clooney's head's bobbing back and forth and shit. Michael Gould, he grabs that fucking head and he delivers a goddamn monologue and a half, chat. He comes out the best person this way. He gets some dumb lines, No debauchery. He gets to say some fucking dumb shit. But outside of that, he delivers a good performance. Everybody else, not so much. Not so much. But, Chad, this we come to the goddamn Batcave, Chad. And what do we see? Bat butts. We see the suit-up scene, Chad, which was already in Batman Forever. People like give Batman Forever a pass. These shots were in Batman Forever, but now they're just doubling on them now. Now you're going to get the Batman butt shots, the Robin butt shots, and later, Chad, the Batgirl butt shots. And you see them putting these fucking boots on and shit. You see their big, thick, 4C's thick Bat and Robin boy tookuses. Just got to get those dummy thick asses in their suits, Chad. Give them a good old smack. And that rubber's just all a jiggle. You see some codpiece shots, chat, like in these overly pronounced, huge copies, like goddamn Batman and Robin. They got some girthy peens and balls, chat. Clearly, you got to protect them with a lot of rubber down there. That's why the codpieces are so swollen, chat. And they're fucking walking, they're waddling. You might have tumors in there for all I know. It's very, you know, you gotta look. And of course, chat, you get the erect nipples. The nipples were a new thing. Those are not in Forever. This is very much in Batman and Robin. Allegedly, chat, Joe Schumacher says, I wanted the Batman and Robin and Batgirl suits to resemble Greek statues. Like that was, because Joe Schumacher's obsessed with very muscular male statues. Obviously, we know why. But for whatever reason, I want them to look like statues and have fucking nipples. All right? It's like they're putting on a statue on their bodies. Like they're the perfect physical specimen. And that's why you got the nips, chat. I think it also makes sense because they're going up against Mr. Freeze, right? And the fucking rubber just goes, ooh, it gets cold in here and goes boom, and that's what happens, chat. When nipples are exposed to cold air, to ice, what happens to them? They become erect. They become erect, chat. Thank you. Oh, Chris said the nipples are Batman Forever. What? They just don't call attention to them like they do with it. Oh, fuck, there you go. Never mind, chat. I was bamboozled. See, I haven't seen the movie in a long time, but there you go. Thank you, Chris Ayers. Keeping up with those bat nipples. Thank you, Chris Ayers, for watching those bat nipples so I don't have to, chat. But we see all these fucking glory shots, all these glory shots. Then we see the big fucking reveal, chat, the bat peen, the Batman, the Batmobile. Except it's very elongated. It's like it's a penis. Like it has a very narrow, it has a big old shaft, and then it has like this really round like end section where Batman sits. It's like you just made him sit in a fucking giant penis. It's a big black penis, exactly what it is. And fucking Chris O'Donnell, and by the way, George Clooney's head's just bobbing back and forth like a bobblehead every time. And then you have Robin going, and it's like, oh, I want a car. And, you know, it's like chicks dig a car. And, you know, this is when we get the first confirmation, chat, that we exist in a world of superheroes. Because, you know, George Clooney says, and this is why Superman works alone. It's like, holy shit, Superman exists in the Burton Schumacher verse. That's the only name drop we got, chat. And then, you know, George Clooney awkwardly gets into the giant big black Batman peen, and he gets in there, and goes, boom, and he ejects. You know, he ejaculates down the fucking runway, chat. Meanwhile, you know, Chris O'Donnell, he's got to wait for his little Robin bike to fold out, and he gets on the bike, and, you know, he turns around and says, don't wait up, Alfred. And Alfred's like, I'll cancel the pizzas, and he drives away, and then Alfred goes, oh, he's like, something's wrong with Alfred, chat. He is not looking good. He's got like, oh, he's got like the bubbly guts or something, and he almost fucking topples over. It's like, shit, what the hell's going on? But we don't have time to worry about Alfred right now, chat. Poor old Michael Gould. I mean, they're pretty much just popping him up, chat. Just propping him up, leaning him against walls and shit because he can barely walk anymore. But then, chat, we cut to the Batmobile. Robin pulls up right beside him next to the giant black Batman peen. And we get Pat Hingle, chat. He comes on the back computer. And poor fucking Pat Hingle, all his job has ever been, chat, is to deliver exposition in these films. And that's all he does. And he's like, Batman, there's a new villain on the scene. His name is Mr. Freeze, and he's taken over the Gotham Museum of Art and Dinosaurs, which is like, that's very specific, art and dinosaurs, chat. It's like, okay. And then George Clooney goes, Mr. Freeze. And that's it. And he just fucking blasts down this very, very long track. It's like, this is part of the Batcave? Like, where the fuck are we? It's huge, chat. And they're going down. Meanwhile, chat, we cut to the Museum of Art and Dinosaurs, chat. We go inside the museum, and we see that it's been frozen by a really shitty-looking plastic substance. Like, all the frozen background, chat, they look like a set from the 60s Batman show. It's like, even when actors are walking by the icicles, you can see the rubber just going back and forth as they're stepping. It's like, Jesus Christ, this all looks so fucking fake. And we see the Museum of Art and Dinosaurs, chat, it's completely covered in ice, right? And all the guards are freaking out. Oh, they're all panicking shit as they're being attacked by a group of evil hockey players, chat. And they're in full hockey, NHL regalia, chat. And they're bringing this one guard to meet his doom, his icy doom. And this one, they put him at the feet, chat, of Arnold Schwarzenegger, of Mr. Freeze. And he's like, mercy, please, mercy. And Mr. Freeze is like, your pleas of mercy have fallen on my cold heart. And he fucking, and he freezes. He's like, oh. And he freezes him, chat, okay? No fucking pleas of mercy gonna work on my cold goddamn heart. They've fallen on a cold heart, motherfucker. And he goes, bah! And he smashes him, chat. He uses his big fucking derpy Arnold Schwarzenegger arm and goes, bah! And he explodes in the icy meat chunks. It's like, holy shit. That's like, goddamn. And there's a big reason why he's there, chat. There's a big goddamn reason why he's there, because he needs diamonds. Now, I believe, chat, that that diamonds, they don't help with freeze gun. I don't understand this. Like, Mr. Freeze is like, my suit is powered by diamonds. It's like, what does it have to do with fucking freezing shit? It doesn't make any, I don't understand that. I don't get it. But he's like, he needs this big, apparently, it's the Museum of Art and Dinosaurs, but they have a fucking giant diamond there? What? Okay, you're not specific with what this museum is, but all right, fair. So he goes there, Chad, and he's like, yes, this giant fucking diamond, shit. It's the biggest diamond you've ever seen, bigger than the Hope Diamond's. Like, all right, I can power my suit and continue my research, yes. And then, oh no! The roof caves in, Chad, because who fucking appears, Chad? Batman and Robin. And George Clooney's literal line is, hi, Freeze, I'm Batman. And then he slides down this giant dinosaur. Chat, and boom, kicks the fucking diamond out of Mr. Freeze's hand, and they go toe-to-toe, chat. But no, that's the thing. Mr. Freeze is like, I have backup. It'll be the icy death of your doom. And he's like, get him, boys. And his fucking crew put on ice skates, chat, and they start fucking ice skating around the goddamn museum, and they start like with hockey sticks and shit, and try to grab and keep away the giant diamond using their hockey sticks. And for some reason, Batman and Robin knew they were going up against an ice villain, even though they found out that in the car, they have built-in ice skates in their shoes. And so they clink their fucking heels together like goddamn Dorothy, Wizard of Oz, and they pop out ice skates. And, fucking Batman tells Robin, okay, you handle the hockey team, which, funny enough, Robin says, oh, no, it's the hockey team from hell. You handle the hockey team, and you get the ice, and I'll handle the Iceman. And so George Clooney, he manages to get the fucking gun out of Mr. By the way, the physics of this movie's fucking ridiculous, chat. He hits the gun, and somehow the gun perfectly lands at this, like, precipice right on top of this exhibit. And it's like, oh, it's perfectly balanced there for whatever reason. And fucking Mr. Freeze and goddamn Batman, they tango, right? While Robin, he's trying to keep the fucking ice, the diamond, away from the hockey team from hell, chat. Wonderful fucking scene. Where Mr. Freeze grabs his fucking security guard and just grabs, like, oh, this big fat guy. He's like, I need you going up. And he throws him in the fucking air. And he grabs the gun. He's like, yes, I have the gun. Thank you. And the guy comes down, hits the fucking ground, chat, explodes like a hot water balloon, chat, freezes on impact. It's fucked up. I mean, he's like, I need to get inside. Oh, hold on. And he's like, he hits the fucking button, chat. His big giant ice of Mr. Freeze mobile comes in. He's like, it's time to leave. Time to make an explosive exit. And he gets inside his fucking ice mobile, chat. While the hockey's like, boys, give me the diamond. And, eventually they beat the shit out of Robin. They punch him hard enough. And, they get the diamond. But before he leaves, he's got to deliver some fucking ice puns. He's like, what killed the dinosaurs? The Ice Age! And he hits the fucking dinosaur with his fucking freeze beam, chat, right? And it falls. It's like, for one reason, Batman and Robin are like, we're just going to watch him fire on the fucking dinosaur, this huge giant brontosaurus, chat. It takes him a while to freeze, chat. It's not like he hits it like once, it's completely frozen and falls. No, he's like, hold on. Like, all this time, they could have hit him, chat, but he gets all frozen. Batman and Robin, they got to back away. Well, Mr. Freeze, he's in his fucking little ice car, chat, and apparently in this ice car, he's like, even though he brought the car in there, chat, it's a rocket ship. And so he's got to make a smooth fucking exit. And, after they avoid the fucking fallen, frozen brontosaurus ship, fucking George Clooney, he flings himself over using Fast and Furious physics. It's like, I can tell where Fast and Furious got their physics, idea for physics from, Batman and Robin, chat, because he manages to throw himself all around the goddamn room. It's like, that's fucking bullshit. There's a man, all right? He hasn't got fucking built-in rocket boots. He's no goddamn Iron Man. But he flings himself inside the rocket before he closes up, chat. And he and fucking Mr. Freeze, they fucking battle. Mr. Freeze, he's too dumb thick, chat. He manages to punch George Clooney out and freezes him to the ship like, But Robin, he manages to get on the edge of the fucking spaceship, chat, before it rockets up into the goddamn sky. Thank you, Edgy Berserker, for the host, and welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing very well. He just pours diamonds. That's the thing. He just pours, apparently, chat, to power his suit. He just pours diamonds in there. Does it melt them down? I don't know. I don't fucking know. But he fucking gets in there, chat, and it blasts out of the museum, chat, destroying the museum of art and dinosaurs and big-ass fucking diamonds, right? And at this point, Mr. Freeze is controlling the fucking game and is making all these video game sounds. It's like, no, it doesn't make any goddamn sense. He's playing Tekken or some shit. Hitting buttons, tapping buttons, making the fucking thing tilt. You can't make the rocket tilt, Arnold Schwarzenegger. You're only one man. But George Clooney's like, freeze, you can't let the spaceship get any higher. If it explodes, then it'll kill thousands of people in Gotham. He's like, yes, this will be your icy coffin, Batman. The cold of space shall freeze your heart, and you will pummel down to the ground. Freeze, that'll kill thousands. I don't care. And before he leaves, he's like, ice to see you. And he launches himself out of the fucking rocket. And he apparently planned for this because he has giant wings. I forgot at this point in the movie. But he has giant fucking metal wings, chat, and he floats down. The CGI's awful. He's like, he just floats down. Meanwhile, fucking Robin gets in there. And, George Clooney gets really pissy for some reason. He's like, oh, what the hell are you doing here? You should be on the ground protecting the people. It's like, well, you can thank me later, Bruce. And he's like, all right, you fucking unfreeze. They have like these little heat rays. He manages to get them out of the plastic ice. And Robin's like, well, bat bomb. Where are you going to use a bat bomb? He's like, if we don't explode the rocket over now, it'll fall back down to Gotham, and it'll ice people to death. It'll fucking, like, icicles go inside your tummy. You don't want icicle tummy now, do you, Robin? He's like, I don't want that. And so they explode. They take... Apparently, the whole fucking capsule is made out of doors, and they're on like each separate doors, Chad. And they explode the bat bomb. They go boo, and they go out each way, and they airboard their way down, Chad, like they're snowboarding, but they're on boards. And Robin's doing a bunch of flippy jumps, and Batman, he's going for Mr. Freeze and all that shit. And also, they need the fucking diamond too. We need to grab that goddamn diamond. Be sure to do that, Robin. Be sure to do this. So he fucking, Robin grabs the goddamn diamond he has. He's like, yeah, but he's like, whoa! And he somehow lands in a building perfectly, chat. He doesn't just smush into a Robin meat puddle, and he manages to go down there. Meanwhile, Batman, he lands in a fucking Mr. Freeze ship. Mr. Freeze, he ejects his beautiful butterfly frozen mechanical wings, and they're over like this giant factory, like Ace Chemicals. I think it's like Ace Chemicals, chat. And they're like, holy shit, Ace Chemicals, that's where the fucking Joker was born. Referencing. And then Mr. Freeze, in order to stop himself from falling to the ground and dying, I guess he planned all this out, he shoots his freeze gun into the factory, chat, and that slows the descent. But also at the same time, chat, freezes the factory. Thank you! 5 minis, Deadpool. Maybe Freeze could afford the diamonds if he didn't spend all his funding on tanks with rocket ships built in, or just butterfly wings of his colding power. It doesn't make any fucking sense. It's stupid. It's so stupid. I'm a lovely butterfly. But he manages to freeze himself like a nice little soft landing. And Robin goes, he's freezing the fucking factory. And they land there, chat. And they land in there, and Mr. Freeze, he's giving a little hustle. He's like, fuck, I gotta get out of here. And he's trying to open each door. He's like, the whole factory's fucking frozen, by the way. It's like a winter fucking wonderland. He's opened all these doors while Batman and Robin, they chase after him, going through each and every single one. Eventually, Robin's like, don't worry, I'll get him, Batman. And Batman's like, no, don't. And as soon as Robin jumps forward and grabs Mr. Freeze turns around and freezes him, chat. And he freezes him. He's like, no! Freezes him in fucking place, like mid-jump and shit. And Mr. Freeze is like, cool off, bird boy. And he grabs the fucking diamond shit, just rips his fucking, right out of his hand shit, and the hand falls off, and Robin's got a stump now. He's got a severed, frozen stump. It's like, that's not good. That's not good. And he takes the diamond, and he's like, I'll freeze you later. And he fucking freezes his car. Somehow his car tracks him down, creates a big fucking hole. And he goes, I'll freeze and kill you later. And he freezes it up, chat. And he takes the time to like rub this thing, go bye-bye. And he runs away. Meanwhile, he also says, your boy only has 11 minutes to live. So what's it going to be? Me, the Iceman, or the Bird Boy? And then, George Clooney chooses the Bird Boy. He's like, well, he's the only Bird Boy I got. And the green tights will fit on no one else. I can't fucking make Alfred wear the green goddamn tights. He can barely fucking walk anymore. And so he manages to lift this terrible ice model of Chris O'Donnell, chat. And somehow he's able to superheat the water very, very hot and just puts him in there, chat. And like, if this happened, real life, you'd be fucking dead. If you froze like that, you'd be dead. And that's not how this works. But he puts him in there, chat, and goes, oh, and we cut to this really terrible looking model of Chris O'Donnell's face going, oh, and he unfreezes him, chat. He puts his hand in there, like instantly melted. Puts his hand in there, and Chris O'Donnell comes, do we get him? Do we get him? And George Clooney is like, no, I can't stop my head from bobbing. And then, chat, hard fucking cut, chat. We are now in Santa Prisca, chat. The home is, we all know, the South American country, or I guess Caribbean country, Santa Prisca, with the home of Bane. And then we hear like, we're at a castle. It's a secretive evil villain's lair, chat. We're introduced to the character of Pamela Isley, played by Uma Thurman, who in my opinion is the worst thing about the movie. Like, her performance is fucking ridiculous. Like, anytime she attempts to be sexy, she is hamming it up to like a fucking 12. It's like, I can't do it. Like, I think Arnold Schwarzenegger is better than her in the movie. And she makes plant punch, chat, all the goddamn time. And it's just so fucking annoying. I can't do it. But she's, her whole thing, her obsession is she wants to weaponize plants. Like, she's all about the flora, not about the fauna, baby. She somehow wants to be able to put rattlesnake and venom from spiders and shit inside of plants so they can fight back against man and animals, chat, so they can continue to live. So, like, they will not be oppressed by the men of this world. All her fucking, plans have failed. All of her experiments have failed, chat. She's bad at her fucking job. I love it. We see this one snake with these giant, like suckers on its teeth because it's sucking out the vein. He's like, oh, that's fucking fucked, like, the whole time. That was very hilarious. He didn't give a fuck about snakes. And she's like, oh, my latest experiment of rattlesnake venom failed. But I'm so mad. But if I could have more success if it wasn't for, goddamn Lionel Luthor, who's using, by the way, chat, the actor who plays the evil Dr. Jason, plays Lionel Luthor, the son of the father of Lex Luthor from Smallville. It's the same fucking actor. So for the sake of convenience, chat, I'm just going to call him Dr. Luthor, okay? He's Lionel Luthor. Chat's like, oh, look at the crossover, chat. Yeah, it's cool. I would have just called him Lionel Luthor for the fucking hell of it. And so, if it wasn't for Lionel Luthor stealing all my venom and plants and stuff for his own experiments, I could make sure that these plants would be able to fight back against, the oppressors. Happy International Women's Day, everybody. Happy International Women's Day. Thank you, Chris, for the 5 biddies. He is Mark Strom's dad in Shazam. You're right. I totally forgot about that. Yeah, you're right. He does a good job. He gets thrown out that fucking window. That's fucking funny. It was good. Oh, he's the Rock Man in the comics? Oh, is that what he is? Oh, shit. He's Jason. Oh, I know that guy. He's Jason Woodrue. Oh, that's cool. I never knew that was Jason Woodrue. Wow, cool. I was like, his name is Dr. Jason. Okay, I'll call him Jason Woodrue. He's the Floronic Man, chat. Girls do get it done. Nah, Brownie, absolutely. And so she's very upset. So I don't understand the relationship. Like, are they working together, or why do they share the same space? It's like, you both bought the evil villain lair in Santa Prisca, and they're like, let's just split the difference, okay? You'll have this section of the evil lair, I'll have this section of the evil lair. I don't understand why they work together. Because apparently he steals her stuff all the time, and she just lets it happen, just lets that man walk all over her, chat, okay? Girls can't get it done. Don't let him do that to you, Ivy, or Pamela, I should say. And she says, I always hear him doing his evil experiments, and I don't understand. I don't go over there because I'm scared. And she says, but today I'm gonna fucking go over there and see what he's doing. And apparently, Chad, he's putting on a goddamn exhibition, put on a goddamn show. Apparently, he's showing off his newest invention, chat, Venom, the possibility to create your own super soldiers to the and I quote, chat, the ununited nations. These are the United Nations who are not united. Sure. And so you see fucking Fidel Castro, chat. You see the Shah of Iran. You see at the time Kim Jong-il. He's there, chat. You see for some reason, representative from fucking Soviet Union, chat, even though the Soviet Union fell. Maybe this is Russian. This is Russian, chat. All the bad guys you ever seen in an action film, they're all there. And he's fucking, Dr. Woodrue. He's there to show off Venom. He's like, I've only had one survivor of this Arnold, what's his name? I don't know. They give Bane a name. It's Bane. And he's this little fucking schmeagle skinny guy. And he's all like, yeah, patooey. He's been spitting on everybody, chat. That's what he does before he becomes just spits on everybody. He's a serial spitter. Okay, it's terrible. You shouldn't spit on someone. That's assault. And what I've done to good old Arnold here is I've just poked holes into his brain, the back of his head. And I put a whole bunch of steroids and rattlesnake venom inside of him. And apparently, Chad, when you mix steroids with rattlesnake venom, you get Bane. That's how it works. And so it's like, let me go ahead and strap him down. And it's like, ladies and gentlemen, prepare to scream. And he fucking hits this button on Bane's chest, right? And it starts injecting all the rattlesnake steroid venom inside of him, shit. He gets all, like, swollen. He goes, oh. He doesn't even look that muscular, shit. He's very wide. Bane is very wide. And he's like, yes, I am born. I will destroy the Batman. And for the rest of the movie review, chat, I'm just going to do Tom Hardy Bane because it's funnier. Because this version of Bane sucks. So, Bane, at the time, in 1997, Chad, he was a very recent creation. I think he came about during the 1993 arc called Nightfall, Chad, which is not a great arc in the comics. It went on for a very long time, introduced a lot of new characters, some of them not great. They had one other person who came in as Batman, who was Azrael, who I'm not a fan of. Don't like that character, and he defeated me. It was dumb, sorry. But he was a new character, and he much like Venom, chat, he was kind of, in a way, DC's Venom. And like, hey, this guy, he came about, he's the ultimate badass, he defeated Batman, much the same way that Venom defeated Spider-Man, etc., etc. Same concept. Then, he was in the animated series briefly. I'm not the biggest Bane fan. Like, I like the idea of the character. He's just, I don't know, for other reasons, he's just so uninteresting to me. There's just, I don't know, his costume design, yeah, there's just nothing that's very appealing to me. But he was popular. And this was his cinematic debut. The thing is, though, Chad, apparently Joe Schumacher just saw an image of the guy. He's like, okay, evil, dumb luchador. Which Bane is not. I'll give Bane this at the end of the day. Like, I think he's better than Venom. Is that he is a master strategist. He's very intelligent, Chad. Like, that's how he took down Batman. Not because I will break the Batman. No, he's not. He broke him. He broke his back, Chad. Snapped that fucking spine in two, Chad. He was paralyzed. He was paralyzed for a good long while. Badges, speaking of bad people, bad shields, come in there. We're describing 12 months, a full year. Congratulations, my friend. Cheers and salute to you. May the winds live in as a feather. You have now obtained the Clear Whiskey sub badge. Thank you. Thank you so much. Like King Kodiak, you're right. In this movie, he's the big dumb guy of steroids. Because none of that intelligence comes across. All he says, his most notable line is, bomb. When he says bomb. Or he repeats what Poison Ivy or Mr. Freeze say in the movie. Like, he is just there to be a big dumb brute. Kind of interesting that they paired him with Poison Ivy. It's like, okay, that's kind of inspired. It's different. But they do literally nothing with him. They occasionally give him a fucking, they give him the Raphael trench coat and fedora in the movie to disguise him. He's like, oh, we can't have Bane walking around. Goddamn luchador in Gotham, which I think is very goofy. Dez, thank you so much. The 5 minutes is Bane. He has Beckham of a Pokemon. Yes, he says Bane. He says Bane. He says his own name, and he occasionally repeats things that other people tell him. That's about like following orders. I'm just following orders. That's it. Thank you, Betch, for the 15 biddies. Really do appreciate it. And so he's like, oh, yes. And, Bane's fucking freaking out. He's like, let's have a little show, because, Woodrue's like, let's show off what Bane can do. And Bane's like, I will crush you. Oh, I'll have you driven before me. And he fucking gets up and starts stomping around, causes all these fucking lights to fall down, and scares Pamela Eyes, who just fucking jets out of there. She's scared. And, Woodrue follows her. And he's like, Pamela, my dear, what's wrong? He's like, I know what you're doing. You're creating fucking weapons. And he's like, of course I am. Of course, that's what I do. Yeah, I mean, we're fucking evil, right? She goes, no, I'm not evil. I just want plants to be able to fight back against men and kill them in case men try to trample on them or use them to fucking make paper or some shit. And he goes, well, that's pretty fucking evil. And she's like, no, you're evil. I'm going to tell everyone. I'm going to expose you to the world. I don't want you. He goes, yes, you do. And he fucking starts lusting after her. She's like, Pamela, we've had this chemistry of each other for so long. Let me kiss you. And he's like suddenly like groping her, groping her. And she's like, no, you disgust me. And he's like, oh, Well, I can appreciate your difference of opinion, but I don't create criticism well. So you'll have to die. Which I thought that's actually a good line. It's like, well, guess I'll just have to kill you. And he fucking pushes her, Chad. He pushes her, and she falls. He goes, no! Apparently, Chad, that push was all it took. And he dumps all these, he pushes his fucking table, Chad, of rattlesnake venom and all sorts of concoctions. He's like, yes. And the ground starts to just, like, decay, Chad. And she starts to go, like, all starts bubbling and shit. And, like, plants start coming out. And she starts to go, yes, back to the earth you hold so dear. It's like, okay, let's start the bidding at $10 million. Yes. And he goes back downstairs. Meanwhile, Chad, we cut back to the Batcave, right? And, you know, Bruce, he has to figure out this Mr. Freeze guy. You got fucking Chris O'Donnell. He has his feet in some hot water. You got a towel around. He's like, Bruce, I just want you to trust me, okay? Just fucking trust me for once. He's like, Dick, listen, it's my way or the goddamn highway, okay? Just listen to me, all right? Just listen to me. Alfred's just like, coming, Master Bruce. And he's like stumbling and shit. And you know, at this point, he's like, Alfred, doing okay? Oh, I'm fine. Yes, fine. The back is aching is all. And he's like, have you brought the cassette player? He's like, I have indeed. So apparently, Chad, Bruce, they've uncovered a cassette player or a video, Chad, security footage. The wonderfully edited video, Chad, of Mr. Freeze's life. I don't know how fucking Alfred found this, but Chad, not only does it include security footage of Gotham University, where Mr. Freeze became Mr. Freeze, but also, Chad, his fucking footage of his fucking, you know, marriage, all of that shit's in one convenient videotape, which I think is kind of odd. And so they put this video in, Chad, and we see, you know, Arnold Schwarzenegger and his wife, you know, eat cake, yes, I'm so good. And, you know, Bruce is going like, this is, his name is Victor Freeze, Dr. Victor Freeze. I love that they mention here, he's, you know, a Nobel Prize winning, a freeze biologist. Like, what's a fucking freeze biologist? And also a 2-time winning Olympic decathlete. Because, you know, it's like, this scientist is quite fucking swollen. So I do really appreciate they did say, it's like, he's pretty fucking built for just being a scientist. Not that you can't be if you're a scientist. You can be very healthy and very muscular. But I love that they put in there, he's a 2-time Olympic winning decathlete. You know, gold medal winning. I thought that was very funny. I missed that line the first couple times I saw this movie. And apparently, his wife, Nora Freeze, she developed a Hodgkin's disease or some kind of disease. She got Freeze disease, right? And there's no cure of it. And Mr. Freeze dedicated his life to finding a cure. But oh no, an experiment went wrong, and he fell into a fucking vat of freeze chemicals. Chad, I don't know. Some bad shit. Apparently, the chemicals, the temperature of the water was -50 below, and somehow he fucking survived. And perfectly shot. I love they say, enhance, Alfred, enhance. And they enhance in this one shit. Mr. Freeze is like, he's like, shit, he's serious now. And now he's just spending all his time trying to fund research to save his wife. Now, this is an adaptation, Chad, a very loose adaptation of the Batman animated series version of Mr. Freeze. So Mr. Freeze in the comics before the animated series, he was just a guy that froze people. He had a freeze gun. That was it. He was no different than Captain Cold. But then Bruce Timm and his people came in there, and they gave him dimension. They gave him that tragic backstory, Chad. The scientist who's trying to save his wife was betrayed by his employer. And he suffered this horrible accident, Chad, that changed his body forever. And, you know, wanting to help his wife, but also wanting to seek vengeance. And so Joe Schumacher said, that's great. And then he just fucking bastardized the Chad. Yeah, McGregor syndrome. That's it, McGregor syndrome. Thank you. Thank you, James. No, thank you, Batshields, McGregor. I knew it was some fucking disease. But he's got McGregor syndrome. Thank you. And they make that big old, you know, fucking reveal here. So trying to, like, be a little sympathetic towards the villain here. But still, it's such, wow, the first time you're going to do, which I wouldn't mind them doing this version, Mr. Freeze, in a movie. You know, like, properly, Chad, like, doing that whole backstory as well. That, I mean, that's defined Mr. Freeze ever since it made its debut in the Batman the Animated Series. And I would love to see that. But the way they present it here, it's just like, oh, Jesus, you had an opportunity. You fucking blew it. You blew it. And so at this point, like, we got to fucking stop him. And, you know, Dick's like, well, you know, if you fucking let me do what I wanted to do, maybe we could have. It's like, you would have fucking died. It's like, you don't fucking trust me, okay, Bruce? We're partners, man. We're fucking partners. And you don't trust me. I love on this, like, they acknowledge that Chris O'Donnell is a 35-year-old man. It's like, Bruce, like, I think, what, George Clooney's like 40 in this movie? Because they say it's like, you raised me since I was, you know, 8 years old, Alfred. Or, no, since I was 10. And that was 30 years ago. So they acknowledged that Bruce is 40, and apparently, like, Chris O'Donnell's like 35. And it was always fucking weird. It's like, is Chris O'Donnell his ward? You know, I mean, he adopted a 35-year-old orphan. It didn't make any sense, but they kind of was like, we're partners, we're brothers, Bruce. So it was a very different take on the Batman-Robin relationship. Not father and son dynamic. It's more like a brother dynamic. And so he's like, you just don't fucking trust anyone, Bruce. It's just your way or the highway. And he fucking walks away. And Alfred, who's just fucking leaning there, like, oh, just dying. He's like, Alfred, I mean, is that true? Is it always my way or the highway? And Alfred's like, yeah. Yes, it is. It is always that way. I always have to kowtow to you, Bruce. And then Bruce is like, all right, well, hey, we're fucking alive, aren't we? He goes, yeah, for now. Little do we know, Chef, fucking Alfred. He also, too, has the McGregor-Hodgkin's disease. It's serious. Then, chat, we cut, and we're now at Mr. Freeze's lair, which, by the way, is in the middle of fucking downtown Gotham, and it is a ice cream factory that, for some reason, like a defunct ice cream factory that has started up business again, and like no one's calling attention to that frozen piece of real estate. Like it's literally frozen. Just like why? It's summer in Gotham, and there are icicles hanging off of this place. I was like, I think that's bullshit. Let's go ahead and check this out. Batchels, thank you so much for the 5 minutes. So I'm asking you, friend, partner, brother, will you help me music? Exactly. That's the line that comes up later in the end of the movie. Thank you, Batchel, the 5 biddies, which is like very much the, you know, the dynamic they're going for, the partner brother thing. Not like the ward, not the father and son, which I prefer with Batman and Robin. That's what I particularly like. And then we get the bum 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 bum, and we get the Mr. Snow. Get the Snow Miser chat. I'm Mr. Snow. How do I do the song chat? I gotta do the fucking song. If I gotta do this properly, I gotta do the guy. Troy, thank you so much. Hey, you coming in there? 15 months. Wow. 12 months and some change, my friend. Thank you. Everybody's chill. It's just a sub-anniversary. Thank you so much, Troy. Chat, I gotta give you the Snow Miser song. All right? Because that's what fucking Arnold wants me to do, Chet. We gotta do the goddamn Snow Miser song, Chet. But what's funny is, so there's an interesting thing with this scene. So we go in there, they're all about the ice, all about the snow. And, you know, fucking Mr. Freeze is like going, sing, sing, sing. And his guys, all of his thugs, aren't actually singing the song. You'll notice that they're all going, like all that. And the reason why for that is because if you have a certain number of lines, if you say a sentence in a movie, you get paid royalty share. Every time it comes on TV, every time, you know, DVD sales, you'll get a percentage, right? Every year, you get that paycheck. And Warner Brothers want to cut down on that, and so they specifically ask all the extras, all the people who had speaking lines, or try to cut down all their dialogue to such a significant extent. So they said, you are not going to sing this song, you're just going to go, blah, 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 so they wouldn't have to pay them royalties later on. It's really fucking shitty. So in honor of those actors, Chad, also he's smoking. I love that he can only be in sub-zero temperatures, and yet he's just smoking a fucking cigar, which I know Schwarzenegger, he loves to smoke cigars, but that doesn't make any fucking sense. That's very hot. That is very fucking hot. It's just weird. But here we go, chat. I'll fucking sing this song for you. I'm Mr. White Christmas. I'm Mr. Snow. I'm Mr. Icicle. I'm Mr. 10 Below. Friends call me Snow Miser. Whatever I touch turns the snow in my clutch. I'm too much. Ba-bum-ba. He's Mr. White Christmas. He's Mr. Snow. That's right. He's Mr. Icicle. He's Mr. 10 Below. Friends call me Snow Miser. Whatever I touch turns the snow in my clutch. He's too much. I never want to know a day that's over 40 degrees. I'd rather have it 30, 20, 10, 5 and let it freeze. He's Mr. White Christmas. He's Mr. Snow. That's right. He's Mr. Icicle. He's Mr. 10 Below. Friends call me Snow Miser. Whatever I touch turns the snow in my clutch. I'm too much, too much. Bum, bum, bum. So in honor of those actors, chap, we went ahead. We went ahead and did it for them, okay? They fucking deserve to sing the song. And Mr. Freeze is like, you're not singing it right. He's very upset. Very upset, chap. And then he has this little snow honey. It's badly legal viability. That's really why he froze his henchman. Lines too expensive. No, I can't pay you anymore. This is HR. Like, I don't want to see HR. This is HR. Island, he freezes him to death, chat. Freezes him to death. And here's this little fucking snow honey come in, chat. And she's like, oh, Iceman, let me go ahead and warm up that blood of yours. And he's like, no, there's only one that can warm up my blood. And it would be figuratively, not literally, because then I would die. And he's like, leave me. I want to be alone. And she fucking leaves. Because the only one that can fucking, that has his heart, chat, his icy cold dead heart, is his wife, chat, is his wife, Nora. And he goes in there. And also, it's fucking revealed too. Bruce says, okay, we gotta fucking capture this fucking snowman, right? And so he needs fucking diamonds to power his suit. Like we see, like, Freeze, like, yes, diamonds, fuel for my suit, which is like, I don't know how you can, diamonds equal freezing. It doesn't make any sense. But he says, we're gonna put the Wayne family jewels up for auction, but it'll be fucking fake. And, that'll attract Mr. Freeze and we'll bamboozle him during that auction. And they're like, okay, cool. During this big gala event in downtown Gotham. And so Mr. Freeze finds out about this, but, he sends Frosty, because Frosty, tell me when is the next diamond exhibit happening. It's like, oh, yeah, the fucking Bruce Wayne is putting up these diamonds for auction, at this fucking Miss Gotham event. And he's like, excellent, that sounds good, but now I'm feeling horny, Frosty, so now I want to spend time with my frozen wife. He goes, okay, sir. And so Mr. Freeze goes to this giant freezer of all these frozen meals. By the way, all of his fucking guys eat these frozen TV dinners, but they're still frozen. Like, they can't heat them up. They're just licking this ice, like licking frozen corn and frozen beef and chicken and shit. It's fucking weird. But he goes in there, chat. We see, the classic, Nora Freeze in the dress, chat. Floating in the fucking back to tank from Star Wars. They put Luke Skywalker, same back to tank, by the way, chat. Bet you didn't know that. Just kind of floating there, just going. Oh, this kind of sucks. See the snowflake necklace. Even before he became Mr. Freeze shit, he was all about them snow puns. He was all about the snow jokes and the snow accessories. Like, that was his thing. He's like, yes, and he spent, I love you, wife. I will save you someday from McGregor's Hodgkin's disease, whatever it is. And then, we transition. Hard cut. We're back on Santa Prisca, chat. Back on Santa Prisca, and fucking, Mr. Fondue, whatever the hell his name was, chat. Mr. Fondue, he's talking to all his guys, saying, "Oh yes, you're my lord. You'll have, your fucking Bane shipment arriving through the who's gonna through the mail and that week's end? Are you fucking shipping humans through the mail services? How can you do that? Goddamn, Jeff Bezos. I know you're shitty to your worker, but really?" You're fucking selling human beings? That's what you do, chat. That's what Amazon is doing now. Literally selling fucking Banes. By the pack, by the baker's dozen. And the thing is, he's on the fucking phone, chat, but he notices, apparently he'd spent no time cleaning up the fucking dead body and mass plant poison pit that he made. Because then it starts bubbling up, chat. And fucking Pamela Isley's born anew, chat. And she's making all these goddamn plant puns. And he's just like, hot! You're so hot! Oh, shit. Ad popped up there, chat. My apologies. He's like, you're so hot. She goes, I'm feeling so yummy, so powerful. He's like, you are. He says, my skin is now made of chlorophyll. My blood is aloe. And she's just saying all this. And my juicy, plump lips. She goes, and she just brings him closer. He just fucking makes out with these, like, are filled with venom. And he's like, she says, fucking loser. He's like, oh, I forgot to say, I'm poisonous. She's like, and he fucking falls down dead. His fucking head gets so swollen, just pops. He pops like a fucking gross man pimple, chat. And she's just like, I am Mother Nature reborn. I shall wreak havoc across this world. And she just starts fucking smashing all these fucking random things around, dumping all this shit. But right before she's about to go start this fire, I'm gonna burn this fucking place down. All right, I'm going crazy. She looks at one of these fucking beakers she apparently made by Wayne Enterprise. She goes, Wayne, yes, he shall be the first that shall feel the wrath of Mother Nature. And then we hear Bane go, yes, Gotham, they will be destroyed and the people shall rise. And, she's like, Bane, darling, pack your bags. We're going stateside. And then she makes this really terrible CGI blue screen fire chat. It's like, it overtakes it all. It overtakes it all, chat. It's like, serious fucking business, chat, is afoot. And later, chat, we cut, hard cut, we're back at stately Wayne Manor, chat. And apparently, Chris O'Donnell and Bruce Wayne, they're busy reading all their fucking books. They're in their private library, and they hear a big old ding-dong at the door. And who do we see, chat? Fucking Alicia Silverstone. It's like, is Alicia Silverstone here? What character is she playing? We're gonna fucking find out, chat. We're gonna find out. And so, you know, Bruce is calling Alfred the door, but Alfred, he's not coming. He's like, what the fuck happened? Did he fucking keel over, chat? Did he have a heart attack and die finally? And they keep talking. Chris O'Donnell's like, oh, don't worry, Bruce, I'll get it. And he goes down this like little spiral staircase, have to put his book down, chat, goes to the door, and Alfred, he pops up. He's like, oh, I'm sorry, Master Bruce. I was sleeping. I usually never sleep, but I was just feeling so tired. He goes, oh, don't worry, Alfred. It's just the first time in 30 years, which is a really shitty thing to say. That was passive-aggressive, chat. That was a little passive-aggressive for to Bruce to say to Alfred. It's like, fuck you, man. He's old, all right? He's the only butler in this entire fucking estate. All right, because you either fired all the other ones or you killed all the other ones. We don't see any other goddamn butlers. The only time we ever see other butlers, Shaz, in the first movie, and I think they was hired on for that fucking party where Michael Keaton was hosting that fucking party in his Wayne Manor, where apparently no one knows who fucking Bruce Wayne is. How do you not know? When I do my Batman '89 review, chat, I'll talk about this. Apparently, chat, in Batman '89, nobody knows who Bruce Wayne is. Not Knox. Alexander Knox doesn't know who he is. Fucking Vicky Vale doesn't know who he is. Fucking Jack Napier doesn't know who he is. You know, no one knows who Bruce Wayne is. Like, how is that possible? How is that possible? He's one of the richest men in the world. He's a billionaire. He's the Prince of Gotham. Oh, with all due respect, Master Bruce, fuck you. That's what he should have said. And so then we go to the door. Alicia Silverstone, she gets on top of her luggage, she's looking, through the window and shit. Chris O'Donnell opens the door, and he starts just staring right at her ass. He's like, oh, please tell me you're here to see me. And she's like, as if. And then she, goes aside, pushes aside Chris O'Donnell, and she goes, Uncle Alfred. He goes, oh, Barbara. It's the big reveal, chat. So Barbara is not Barbara Gordon, because I was like, okay, they're back. When I first saw this movie, I'm like, okay, they're going to have Barbara Gordon in this. Interesting, because we haven't really seen Pat Hingle as a character, didn't know he actually had a daughter, but apparently they changed it up, chat. It's not Barbara Gordon, it's Barbara Pennyworth, which is like, oh shit, okay. And so she runs in there, she fucking hugs Alfred, and fucking, Chris O'Donnell, it's like, what, fucking Alfred gets all the girls? And Bruce's head's just fucking bopping, and she's like, no, you fucking idiot. No, that's his niece. Apparently that's his niece. Chat. And then we cut off to the stately Wayne Manor, and then we just get fucking exposition. Because the first thing words out of her mouth is like, my parents died in a car crash 5 years ago, and Uncle Alfred's been supporting me in school for the last 5 years. It's like, okay, if you say so. It's like, so has he been raising you from afar? Because it's like, she's in college, so we're guessing 18, 19, around that age, 20. But even before then, she would be like a teenager. Parents are fucking dead. And somehow Alfred's been raising her. It's like, where was he raised? Just sending money? Was she been living on her own? Like, I don't know. These are questions I have. It doesn't make any fucking sense. It doesn't make any sense. It's like, you didn't think all this through. And the reason why they did this is because they realized, we want to introduce Batgirl, but we spent no time giving Pat Hingle's Commissioner Gordon anything to do. We don't know him as a character. He's just there. He's just window dressing. That's all he is. And so we want to bring this character. So who is a person who can have family? Fucking Alfred. Let's do that. Alfred's family plays a big role in this movie for some reason. It's very weird. We also talked about his brother for a good portion of the film, which I don't know why. Well, no, I do know why. We'll get to that, chat. But somehow Alfred was raising this girl without ever interacting with her for 5 years. Okay, we'll go with that. And she came back because she's on retreat right now, and she just wanted to see her good old Uncle Alfred, right? And, at this point, Bruce, he's fucking skeptical right now because he's like, Alfred... He doesn't trust Alfred, chat, all because of the shit he pulled back in '89 with Vicky Vale. Remember Vicky Vale? Alfred just let Vicky Vale into the Batcave. I'm like, Alfred, the fuck? Why did you do this? He even scolds Alfred about it in Batman Returns. He's like, I know what you would do, bring people in the Batcave. Alfred's like, oh, fuck you. And, because fucking, Alfred's like, oh, she can stay, right, Master Bruce? And he's like, of course, happy to have family here, but he pulled Alfred aside. He's like, you can't pull that Vicky Vale bullshit now, okay? I won't lust after your niece, all right? It's the deal. I won't lust after your niece, all right? But you don't show the Batcave. He's like, deal. That's how this deal was agreed upon, chap. Meanwhile, we cut, and then Alfred, he's typing At a computer, she had a very advanced computer for 1997, flat screen computer in 1997. She was like, fuck, I don't remember any flat screen computers in 97. I always remember those like those big boxy, Windows, desktops and stuff. Chat, like, don't remember flat screens at this point. Maybe they were already out there. I don't recall. I do not recall seeing flat screen, computers. But he's typing away, and he's looking at some footage, chat, in India somewhere. Apparently, he's trying to find his brother for some reason. And, Alicia Silverstone, Barbara Pennyworth, she comes on in, and she's like, I'm here to tuck you in, Uncle Alfred. It's like, oh, you're tucking me in. It's like, I used to tuck you in. When did you ever tuck her in? What are you talking about? You've never left the Wayne Manor in 30 goddamn years. You don't even know this person. What if he was just going fucking senile, chat, and this person just took advantage of him? That'd be fucking hilarious, but it doesn't make any sense. And she goes, what are you doing, Uncle Alfred? He's like, I'm trying to find my brother, Wilfred. Apparently, he's the butler to this Indian royalty, but apparently the specific royal travels via like a giant, massive sail barge, chat, like Jabba the Hutt sail barge. And it's always going around India and shit. And apparently he can't track down his brother. He doesn't have a fucking phone number, doesn't have like a P.O. box, and he's like trying to sift through microfiche and like archive footage trying to figure out where his brother is, Wilfred Pennyworth. It's like, okay, I know Alfred had a brother. It was like, cool. And she goes, why are you doing that, Uncle Alfred? He's like, oh, because family is the most important thing. The thing that you can always trust most is family. He says you can't trust anybody else. Family's the only one you could trust, okay? And then he sees a picture of his sister, chat. It's like, oh, that's my mom, Margaret, which looks like Gloria Stewart. And I'm like, is that fucking Gloria Stewart right there? It looks like Gloria Stewart to me. Might have been. And it says love Peg on it. And she goes, who the fuck is Peg? And he goes, that's what I called your mother, Peg. She was my Peg, I guess. Which is like, all right, sure, Alfred, okay. The family's family bro. See, even back in the day, even Alfred knew. So he would have been accepted fast, and in the Fast and Furious family. He would like, you're my man, Alfred. And at this point, she's like, well, if you need anything, Alfred, just let me know. I was like, all right, my dear, you get your rest. And she leaves, and he's like, and he's all like, McGregor disease, like has the bubbly guts and stuff, chat. He lets out a big fucking fat fart when she leaves. She's like, I thought she'd never leave. But then she runs down the hall, goes to her bedroom, and she's made herself like a sheet rope. She's like classic. I don't know why she could just fucking leave the house. When she made like a sheet rope and she puts it all the way down, chat, and she wears this hot leather pants, chat, everything, and shows off her tuchus. And apparently she has a motorcycle helmet. She's trying to fucking sneak away. Like, what the hell is she doing? What's she doing, chat? She's trying to sneak away. Like, it's fucking crazy. And eventually we do another hard cut, chat. We're now in downtown Gotham, and we see this very stupid, very like exaggerated looking vehicle driven by Bane, who is in like a valet suit and everything, just driving. No, he's in the Raphael uniform, chat, which is a trench coat and fedora. And Ivy, she's taking stock of Gotham. She's like, oh, these two-legged people here, they will pay for what they have done to society, Bane. He's like, yeah, society, they shall rule the day they rose against us, Ivy. It's like society, Chet. Even back then, it was all about the society of Gotham. We live in a society, don't we, Batman? And so she's like, great. And then we're at the observatory, Chet. Apparently, big thing they're doing, Batman, he put all of his money in this giant fucking industrial-sized telescope, Chad, that can see anywhere around the world, because apparently Wayne Industries, they have their own satellites that are all around the world, Chad, like thousands of satellites, and they can see anything on the planet. Which I'm like, that has a lot of military purposes. Why would the United States government allow that, Chad? I ask you. Apparently it's for international research. Bullshit. That's Batman shit. He wants to spy on all the places around the world, chat. Like, Morgan Freeman would have an issue with that, Bruce. But Morgan Freeman ain't in this movie, chat. So no one's complaining. But Bruce Wayne has a girlfriend who has, like, literally no role in this movie. I don't know who she is, but she's in several scenes. It's like, why the fuck are you even here? You have no relevance to the plot or to Bruce Wayne in any capacity, but she's just arm candy, chat. And apparently been going out for a year. I don't know who she is. I have no fucking idea. But that we got Bruce's girlfriend, Chad, and she wants to get married. She wants to have Bruce's baby. She's adamant about that throughout the entire film. It's like, okay, shit. And she's, you know, they're talking about the fucking telescope and how you can see any point in the world based on, you know, how you position the satellites. It's like, okay, sure. And then all of a sudden, fucking Pamela Isley, she gets in there. She sneaks in there as a reporter, Chat, undercover. And she starts fucking chastising Bruce. Is like, you know, why is Wayne Industries, exporting, importing all these fossil fuels, these things that are destroying wildlife? And Bruce says, well, the reason why we're doing this and we're creating these things is so people can warm their homes in these specific areas. He names countries like in Asia and Africa and South America. Also talks about now, the reason why we're harvesting certain sections of forest, which we've been allowed to, is because they have medicinal properties that help people with major sicknesses around the world. And, because he says tens of thousands, not millions of people would die if we didn't do these things. And she's like, well, that's just a sacrifice we should all make. You know, Mother Earth can only provide so much. He's like, I understand that, Miss Isley, Pamela Isley. And he goes, well, Miss Isley, we can just agree to disagree. And she goes, fair enough. He says, like, the first thing I will do is I'll ruin Bruce Wayne's reputation, and I'll steal those diamonds for myself. So now she's also going after the fucking diamond, chat, gonna hit the man, chat. Girls can get it done. And then after that, chat, we cut. We fucking cut, and we're at the big gala show, chat. We're at the big gala show, and we also see racism, chat, because it's like this, kind of like a jungle, like aesthetic they got going for. So they're showing off these diamonds. Also kind of like a Miss Gotham event, and where fucking old white guys can bid on all these various women, chat, of ethnic mysterious descent. And they're like, I will pay $10,000 for the Miss Magnolia, and it cuts to like a brown person. It's like, this seems kind of inappropriate. Thank you, Batches of the 5 Minutes. Who was right, Ivy or Thanos? I don't know. But this whole scene's like, this is not aged well. This is not aged well, this fucking scene, yeah. It even starts out with, it has like a jungle motif, and the first thing we see is a black individual just hopping around, and this is like, oh boy, I don't know. I don't know about this. And we also see Liam Neeson help. we see a lot of other black and brown people in gorilla suits, and I'm just like, this just seems inappropriate. This doesn't seem like it's aged well. I don't know about this. I don't know. Look at these giant, and by the way, these giant purple gorillas are like the creepiest thing I've ever seen in a movie before, because they have these eyes that would, no matter where you look at them, it look like they're looking at you across the room. They're like, oh, the whole time. It's fucking horrifying. Happy belated Black History Month, everybody. And so we have all these black and brown people dancing around, or either being bought by rich, I'm not joking, chat, by rich old white men. And we also have Batman and Robin, who are apparently holding the fucking auction. And they're like, yes, we're here too. But it's all fucking ruse, chat. This slave auction, this Miss Gotham auction. This is both racist and sexist at the same time, chat. It's crazy. Also, we see Senator Patrick Leahy. I forget I gotta remember, chat, but this specific senator who has appeared in several Batman films. I think he's been like in 4 Batman films. I think he was in this one. He was in Begins. He was in Dark Knight and Dark Knight Rises. Patrick Leahy. Thank you, Ace Rock. I always forget his name, but yeah, this is the first, because he's a big Batman fan, and he passed some legislation. I think he either co-wrote or he was involved in a comic book what featured Batman, chat, about the danger of landmines. Is actually not bad single issue comic, and where he passed legislation for the American government to get involved and remove landmines in countries across the world. It's actually a pretty interesting story. He gets blown up. Yes, he does. You're right. He does get blown up in BBS. That happens too. Yep. Yeah, sadly. But yeah, this is his first appearance, and he's a big Batman fan. He's always been featured in a lot of Batman movies. And this scene, it's straight up, chat, where Batman and Robin, they figure out a plan. It's like, we're going to use the Miss Gotham slave auction to trap Mr. Freeze, because he's going to want to steal the diamonds, and that's how we're going to fucking bamboozle him, chat, okay? And we have this whole fucking, all these rich white people just go, okay, and they have Jim Gordon, hey, Commissioner Gordon, you want a job? He's like, yeah. And he's like, you get to hold the diamonds. He goes, yay. And he holds this big, giant, red fucking diamond, chat, or jewel. I don't know what the hell. It looks like a garnet or something, or a ruby. I didn't know diamonds could be different colors. Like, it's a giant, big fucking ruby, but it's like, okay. And he's like, here's the ruby. And they're like, yeah, there it is. And apparently, Chad, it's not an auction for the diamond. It's whoever, I guess, whichever slave gets the most money, they get to wear the diamond when they go on a date with whichever rich white man bought them, which is like, okay, this is problematic. Okay. And so they start the bidding, and one rich old white guy is like, I will donate $1,000 to the Miss Petunia. And they're like, yay. And you have this one rich white guy who's like, $10,000 for the Miss Magnolia. And he's like, yay, everyone's happy. And you have this one guy's like, I would like to buy the curvy one, the Miss Marigold, for $25,000. He's like Jabba the Hutt, like licking himself. It's like, oh my God. It's like, I will give you $50,000 for the Wookiee. It's like, no, please, for the love of God, no. But then, Chet, all of a sudden, everyone fucking starts getting distracted. Thank you, Dead, for the 5 biddies. Certain lady was been in Batman Forever, Batman and Robin. He was Batman Forever, Dark Knight, Dark Knight Rises, and Batman Superman. He also did a voice role in Batman the Animated. No shit, that's cool. Thank you, good sir, for the 5 biddies. Look at that fun fact, Chet. Liam Neeson, help! He ain't helping. But everyone's distracted, guys. Everyone's fucking distracted by the Jabba the Hutt-esque rich old white slave owners, because this fucking monkey, Chet, this gorilla's just doing all these sexy moves, get all this sexy music, and it starts releasing this pheromone, Chet, pheromone coming out of her, the pits, and they're like, oh, that's sweet, sweet B.O. And they're like, oh, and then, Chat, the fucking, the monkey head comes off. I never want to see a monkey, like a gorilla, lift up its pits, Chat, and just start wafting this pheromone spray that goes around my face. I don't want that. And also, that's dancing sexily. No fucking thank you. And it takes it off, Chat. It's revealed it's Uma Thurman's poison fucking Ivy, baby. And she's all like, yes, and the whole thing goes off for Chat. And we see like a little green butt. And they're like, oh, like all the people are just transfixed on her, Chat, like she's the most beautiful fucking thing they've ever seen. And she starts walking down like all the people, Chat, like starts crowd surfing until eventually they go to the stage. And you have the one announcer goes, and you are Poison Ivy. And they're like, holy fucking shit, you're hot. And you have all these guys who are like, I will pay $1 million for Poison Ivy. And you have the one buttered noodle guys who are like, I will pay $25 million for Poison Ivy and the buttered noodles. He just wants them both, Chat. And fucking Batman's like, fuck that bullshit. I'll pay 40 goddamn million for the Miss Poison Ivy. And Robin comes in there, I'll pay 50 million. And he's like, you can't afford it. He's like, I'll just take the money from you. It's like, fucking keep it on the down low. People can't know you're fucking rich. And, Batman's like, I'll fucking pay fucking credit. And he shows the Batman credit card. Never leave the cave without. You gotta be fucking kidding me. And, of course, she grabs the goddamn diamonds they put on her neck. She goes, well, boys, don't fight over little old me. And then who fucking comes in there, Chat, to stop the slave auction from happening? Mr. Freeze, like, everybody freeze. Everybody chill. And he starts fucking freezing all these fucking folks, Chat. It's like, he's attacking those colonizers. Mr. Freeze, I realized, Chet, in the movie, he's the hero of the film, because Batman and Robin, they said fucking slavery is okay. They said slavery and cultural appropriation and slave auctions are okay, and then fucking Mr. Freeze comes in and says, fuck this bullshit, you all deserve the freeze. I'm gonna freeze you in place. And he's like, I'm against slavery. I may be a villain. I might be trying to freeze fucking Gotham, right, but I'm not a racist. And he freezes all these motherfuckers, Chat. And, Batman and Robin, they're all fucking distracted. We get one good line from Batman where this one guy is, because they're all gambling here too for whatever reason, and this one guy is like, who's fighting Batman, he grabs a roulette table to protect his face, and Bruce just punches right through it and he says good night, and the guy just falls down. That was a good Batman line. I like that. Chill, you chill and everything. And he makes his way up to Poison Ivy. He's like, who are you supposed to be, plant lady, garden gal? And he's like, and he reaches for the necklace. Reaches for the necklace, he rips it off of her, and she goes, oh, why don't you go ahead and relax, Mr. Freeze. and she blows the pheromones in his face. He's like, ah, yes, pheromones. It's like it's used to heat a man's blood, but doesn't work on the cold-hearted. And he goes, I'll see you later, plant girl. And he fucking walks off. She goes, fuck, this ice guy beat me. And then she sees Bane, who's also in a monkey suit, come on over. He's like, we got to go after that Mr. Freeze, gentlemen. Oh, I just love it. And by the way, for a reason, I don't know if this is true, but Poison Ivy starts lusting after Mr. Freeze, and she gets very jealous, which I'm like, why? I didn't think you cared about men. You're about the, Flora. I guess not. Well, she does have a soft spot in her heart for Bane, chat, so maybe she still does care for some people who she thinks will be useful to her and her eventual kingdom of the fucking plants or some bullshit. But she's like, I need him. At this point, Mr. Freeze is like, I gotta get the fuck out of here. And he and his boys are getting their little Freeze mobiles and shit, and they get out. Batman and Robin are like, fucking Pat Hingle, Commissioner Gordon, you have 11 minutes to unfreeze these people or they will die. Which is like, what fucking technology does the GCPD have to unfreeze these people who are literally fucking frozen in place statues in 11 minutes? I'm like, Batman, these people are going to die. They died. I'm telling you, chat, all these people died. Thank you, Bachelor of the 5 Minis. Men used to be her, so she used men. Ah, she's using men. Very true, Bachelor. Very true. She's sexually attracted to people who are engaged in genocide. No question, because plot. Because WB said, fuck movie logic. Agreed. No, that's the real reason. And so at this point, those people died, chat. Pat Hingle said, well, we can't do anything for them. We have fucking flashlight. We can and so they just start whacking with flashlight, chat, and they just break apart, because that's what happens. If you freeze to such a degree, chat, you're already dead, by the way. Your heart stopped. You're already dead. And now you're just breaking apart as they're trying to freeze. But they're all dead. And so fucking Batman and Robin, they get in, the Batmobile and the Robin-mobile and shit, and they chase after Mr. Freeze. And then apparently, chat, this is so weird. There's another scene in the movie. I forgot this. So when they're at the observatory early in the film, like the observatory is literally being held by a guy, like a giant statue, chat. It's like, how the fuck did they get up there? Is there like an elevator built inside the statue's arms? Is there a staircase that how do you get up there? They never explain that. And apparently, and where they are right now, Chad, in this fucking giant resort casino, it's also being held up, and they're jumping from statue to statue across all these giant arms, Chad, in Gotham, because for whatever reason, I guess after Batman Returns is like, whoever the mayor of Gotham was, said, we need more giant erotic Greek statues to hold up our buildings. And so they're going from statue to statue, Chad, just, chasing after Mr. Freeze. Eventually, Chad, they get to one particular statue that, like, is going to trail off, and there's a big precipice and a, big fall, and it goes onto, like, a building, like another Ace Chemicals or some shit, toy factory, whatever. It's some abandoned toy factory, chemical factory in Gotham. There's about, 100 of them, in all honesty. And Bruce is like, you're never going to make it, dick. And he's like, no, I can fucking make it. I can make it, Bruce. And, fucking Batman, he's like, oh, Robin Mobile, shut off engine. And the fucking shuts off the engine. He's like, no. And the engine, and then Mr. Freeze and his goons, they go off the fucking hand of this giant statue. And the fucking goons are like, we're not going to fucking make it. And they fucking die. Frosty, he dies, chat. And Mr. Freeze, he manages to get over there. And then Batman, he shoots on over too. And Robin, I love this fucking scene because Robin stops right at the fingernail of the statue and goes, no, for whatever reason. And then actually Mr. Freeze, by the way, a lot of time has passed. Mr. Freeze lands on the top of the building, turns his car around. He's like, yes, and now you'll feel your icy doom, Batman. And he shoots his fucking giant ice beam at the Batmobile, and it freezes the Batmobile. Bruce ejects out of it. This is so weird to me. He ejects out of it, and, Mr. Freeze is like, yes, I did it. And then Batman goes, right into, he flies down. He glides down to Mr. Freeze's, Mr. Freeze mobile. Mr. Freeze is like, uh-oh. And he goes in there, chat, and then we cut, and Batman has somehow defeated Mr. Freeze. So, was there a fight on the rooftop? We don't fucking know. But he is incapacitated Mr. Freeze, and he's like, yes! He's like at George Clooney's feet. And George Clooney has his cape up like this. I fucking did it. Ooh, I did it. It's just so weird. And he's defeated. And it's like, okay. And then, chat, we get a scene of Poison Ivy and Bane. They're like, well, we need to fucking, sow our goddamn oats, Bane, okay? And Bane's like, yes, we shall fuck Gotham into oblivion. She's like, no, we're not fucking anybody. He goes, oh. It's like, we need a fucking abode. He's like, oh, yes, a domicile. Exactly what we need. Thank you, Deadpool, for the 5 minutes. No wonder Gotham has a crime problem. Spend all the taxpayer money on giant erotic naked statues. Yeah, it's like, why are you doing this? Let's feed the poor. Let's feed, no, like, oh, don't worry about the poor. Batman will just punch them. He'll just punch the poor for us. Don't need to feed them out that they fucking punch their teeth in. They're going to eat their goddamn teeth after all. Thank you again for the 5 biddies. But they attack this rave, like, henchman hideout chat where they're all wearing glow. It's actually cool looking. They have this particular gang in Gotham who are about doing raves and wearing glow-in-the-dark paint chat. Like, that's their aesthetic. There's about 6, there's only 6 members of the gang, apparently. And fucking Bane and Poison Ivy go inside there. And they're like, oh, no, Bane, this is a bit of a fixer-upper. But sadly, it seems that it still occupies. Like, I will defeat them, Miss Ivy. And you have the one leader of the glow-in-the-dark guys, the glow-in-the-dark sticker boys. And he's like, well, oh, hello, pretty lady. You're so pretty enough to eat. And she goes, Bane, take him. He's like, I will smash them into oblivion. And he beats the shit out of them, chat. They throw, like, these chains, these plastic chains around them. He's like, these mean nothing to me and my swole body. And he kills them all. He throws them out there. And literally, chat, he throws them up into the air, like he grabs all of them and goes, ah! And we hear the banana peel slip sound effect. It's like, oh my God. And they run away. And then Ivy just starts fucking the ground, and all these plants start coming up, chat. And it's like, holy shit, this is weird. And she goes, Bane, we need to get ourselves a man for the house. He says, what about me? He's like, one that has a cold heart. He goes, ah, yes. And then, chat, we cut to the Batcave, and Batman and Robin, they're fucking fighting. Dick is just like, fuck you, Batman. That was shitty what you did to deactivate my motorcycle. He's like, I'm trying to fucking help you, Dick. I love the way that George Clooney says, I'm trying to help you, Dick. Like, he didn't say his name like, oh, Dick Grayson. He says his name like, no, I'm like, you're a fucking dick, man. I love that. He's like, you're never gonna trust me, Bruce. Okay, we're fucking partners. It's Batman and Robin, but not Robin and Batman. He's like, fuck you, and he fucking, leaves and shit. And Alfred's like, oh, Master Wayne, you must be kind to the boy. And he's like, Alfred, fucking, why don't you go away? He's like, I will be dead. Eventually, by the way, George Clooney has all these flashbacks constantly throughout the movie. We see one flashback of him falling in a hallway and Alfred helping him up and everything. We see another flashback of Alfred, like, in his room, and he's all, he's all tired. And we see, apparently, Chad, Bruce Wayne's parents are buried right outside of Alfred's bedroom window. It's like, yeah, parents are outside, Bruce. He's just right there in plain fucking view. It's like, that's fucking weird and creepy. He's like, oh, well. Maybe he remembers how Alfred's like a father to him, like raised him for 30 goddamn years, shit. Because Bruce, I guess, is 40 in the movie by now. He's got that salt and pepper, got that classic George Clooney salt and pepper hair, but it's not going well. Eventually, Alicia Silverstone, she's trying to sneak out of the goddamn house chair. No, she came back. She came back from a thing. Apparently, he was taking one of the bikes, and Chris O'Donnell catches her. She's like, what the hell are you doing? And she's like, it's none of your fucking business what I'm doing, okay? And it's like, I just want to take her for a little bit of a ride. And he's like, why? Why do you fucking ride on our bikes? I didn't know they taught you that at Oxford. She's like, I'm doing it to... This is the weirdest fucking point in the movie, chat. Like, there's a lot of weird points, but it's like, this is very odd. It doesn't make any sense. She says, I'm trying to free Uncle Alfred. And Chris Nolan's like, free Uncle Alfred? Yeah, he's enslaved to you and Bruce Wayne. It's like, she thinks, maybe it's true. Honestly, I kind of get it, yeah. She thinks that Uncle Alfred is a slave. He's not a slave. He's a butler. That's his profession. He can leave anytime he wants. I mean, probably not. Bruce would probably kill him, so the secret doesn't get out, right? But she literally thinks, like, her idea is like, this is a big reveal. She is participating in street races in Gotham City to earn money so she can buy Alfred's freedom. I am not joking. That is a plot point in this movie, and it doesn't make any sense. It's like, what are you talking about? Like, Alfred probably earns more than you would ever earn your entire fucking life. You knew, he's like, well, I'm going to help you in your vigilanteism, Bruce. You're going to put a couple of more zeros at the end of my paycheck. All right, that's just how it's going to work. It is so stupid. Thank you, by the way, to Jug Rizzle. Jug Rizzle for the follow. I like your name, by the way, Jug. You're my new Huckleberry. Welcome to stream. Trying to talk about the stupid plot point that apparently Alicia Silverstone's Barbara Pennyworth thinks that Alfred is a slave and she needs to buy his freedom. But with hindsight, chat, apparently Batman and Robin are okay with slave auctions, selling women to old rich white guys. So maybe I can understand that. I kind of get that now. Barbara's on drugs. She's like, apparently that Oxford education is not helping. Can you think of my base? How does she think Uncle Alfred has been paying for her school all her life? Good point. Excellent point. She definitely got caught, made some shit up on the spot because she knew he was trying to. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. She made some stuff up the spots. Like, she just wanted some fucking money. That's what it was. And that's how she gets her kicks, is participating in these illegal street races. That's exactly how it is, Chet. Totally agree. Totally agree. And so they're going fucking back and forth and shit. Eventually, though, Chet, we cut to Arkham Asylum and we see fucking Freeze literally in a giant fridge. They put the man in a refrigerator, Chet. And his guards, funny enough, one of his guards is played by Jesse the Body Ventura, who was at the time a friend of Arnold Schwarzenegger. I don't think they're friends anymore. Well, you know, he was in Predator with them. Jesse Ventura, he appeared in several films. He was like governor of Michigan, I think. Governor of Michigan, or governor of some state. You know, he's a talking head on these political programs and things. But he plays a guard in this movie. And they wheel him into his cell. He's like, be sure to put him under the ice beam, because he needs to be under the ice beam, Chet, or he'll die. And they open it up, and he's wearing, you know, the classic black and white striped prison uniform and shit. And he goes, there you go. And then, you know, it's like, well, what the hell's this wacko's name? And, you know, he's like, the name is Freeze and Pray. Oh, what's the line he says, Shep? The name is Freeze. And you will pray for your doom, because it'll be the last word that you'll ever hear. No, that's what he says. It'll be the last name you ever hear before your doom. It's like, oh shit. And he just beats the shit out of Jesse Ventura and the other guy, which has like this eye patch. My name is Freeze. That's it. Thank you, Des. My name is Freeze. Learn it well, for it's a chilling sound of your doom. Love that line. And so eventually he beats the shit out of Jesse Ventura and the other guard. And he starts like moving and grooving. But oh no! He gets out in the ice beam, Chad. He goes, oh, he starts dying, Chad, because it's like, you know, normal temperatures. And Jesse Ventura's like, ha, 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 you can't leave the safety of the ice beam, snowman. Eventually they drag him back to the bed. He's like, he's all upset and shit. Eventually, you know, Poison Ivy and fucking Bane, like, we have to do our job and free Mr. Freeze. That's what we need to do. That's what we need to fucking do. And so they get this whole plan, you know, moving and grooving. Eventually, though, we cut to Alicia Silverstone. She took one of the fucking bikes out, and she's going to participate in a legal street race, and Chris O'Donnell, he follows her to the street race, apparently which are being run, chap, by LL Cool J. Or is it LL Cool J? No, Coolio. It's being run by fucking Coolio, Chad, who was a cameo in the movie. I don't know if he does a song for the film, but he's there, and he runs all these illegal motorcycle street races, right? And Barbara Pennyworth, she shows up, and she participated in the race, but it gets all fucked up during the race, shit, because, you know, people are trying to fucking kill her, and Robin's trying to protect her at the same time, and eventually they come to a point where it's like, okay, we almost fucking died of the stupid race. But I understand. You tried to help me, Chris O'Donnell, and thank you. Now, no. It was Coolio. I fucking corrected myself. Take it easy. I know LL Cool J. He has a hat like a shark's fin. I remember. No, it's Coolio, Chad. I'm not canceled. I corrected myself. I knew it was something with C's in it. I got there. God damn it. Doesn't matter if it was LL Cool J or Coolio Trump. I corrected myself. Jesus Christ. I was governor of California. He was for a time. Oh, but, you know. Oh, more apps or my caps. Oh, whatever. You know what I meant. I figured it out. On my own. Even before you started typing, I already figured it out. But anyway. Eventually, Chad, we cut back to Mr. Freeze, and he's made himself, somehow, Chad, he's a master artist. He somehow took a fucking block of ice, and he carved a little, like, Nora statue, and put her on a clock, and it spins around. He's looking all sad, kind of like from the original animated series. He's like, yes, we all look alike, Chris. I know, I can make it easier on me. It was neither. It was fucking Coolio, goddammit. I know what I'm talking about. I got to it. You all know as a dancer. Look at that. Look at my little ballerina. Then Chetty hears a fucking knock on the door, and Jesse Ventura tells him, you got a visitor, Freeze, it's your sister. He's like, my sister. And who comes in? Thank you, Bachelors of the 30 Biddies. It's all love, because you know the vampire. I know. You guys are always messing with me. Deadpool League of Legends, Batman and Robin had two governors fight each other on film. California versus Minnesota. That's what it was. Thank you, Chad, for all the support. I do appreciate it. But during this scene, fucking Poison Ivy comes in and I'm here to free you, big guy. He's like, I don't need you. I don't need anyone. He's like, I think you do. I have my boy getting your suit right now. And he goes, what? And then we chat, we cut. And we get a really cool little cameo for those of you that care of in this. Apparently it's the Hall of Costumes where they keep all the illicit goods of former supervillains. Chat. We see Riddler's uniform, Jim Carrey's Riddler's suit, and Tommy Lee Jones's Two-Face. And the fucking brick wall falls away, and it's Bane is like, I am here to acquire the Iceman suit. The guy goes, down with the oppressors. And he crushes him, and he takes the suit, and he puts in a shopping cart, and he just starts, like, going down the hallway. He goes, get out of my way, moo, wee, woo, wee, woo. And he goes forward. And, that's the other thing, because, Poison Ivy, she's still trying to distract all the goddamn guards, and she uses her feminine wiles, which are her bazoongas. Her bazoongas, she's like, boom! And Jesse Ventura and the other guys are like, oh, so hot. And she starts, making out with them, chat, and go, and they get poisoned, and they fall down. He's like, impressive, very impressive. And then Bane, he gets to the fucking door, and he gives Mr. Freeze his suit. He puts it on. He's like, yes, this is very nice. But, oh, no, I'm running on fumes. Apparently, she doesn't have enough fucking diamonds in his suit. And all the fucking guards, they're trying to stop Mr. Freeze and Poison Ivy and Bane. And he's like, how are we going to get out of here now? And Poison Ivy's like, Bane, make us an exit. And Bane goes to the wall. He's like, yes, I shall destroy the wall of the oppressors. He hits it. It's like, the wall is reinforced of steel. She's like, oh, no, reinforced steel. We're fucked. And at this point, Freeze is like, I have a plan. And he goes to the little drinking fountain he has, and he unhooks his little freeze tube, the cryo tube, and he sprays it into the faucet, and it goes down and freezes all the pipes. And apparently, Chad, it freezes them so much that it cracks, the pipes explode. And Bane's like, now go ahead and do it. He's like, be sure to winterize your pipes. And Bane hits it, Chad, and is able to break the fucking steel, and it creates a big fucking hole. But it's like hundreds and hundreds of feet down. They're like, oh shit. And Poison Ivy's like, whoa, holy fuck. And at this point, he's like, I hope your Mr. Bane knows how to swim. Let's go. And they jump, Chad, and CGI. And Bane's like, I shall jump, and this will be for the people of Gotham. Yeah. And they all fall. The guards are like, whoa. And so they all fucking escape. And eventually, they meet up after they escape the fucking Arkham Asylum guards and shit, the security. They're like, okay, listen. We'll go ahead. We'll get your fucking wife. Poison Ivy's like, we'll get your wife, and we'll get your goddamn diamonds. And we'll fucking take Gotham over and we'll rule it together. Isn't that great? And he's like, that sounds very good. Let's go. And so they fucking go to Mr. Freeze's hideout. But oh no, the police have already gotten there, and they're taking all the shit away. Also, Batman and Robin, they're also there. And they go ahead and they fucking find Nora Freeze in the big old cryo tube. And they're going like, oh, holy shit, he loves his wife so much, he's trying to help his wife. It's so sad. But little do they know, Chad, the fucking Mr. Freeze and Poison Ivy are literally under their goddamn feet. The entire time, still under their feet. And at this point, Mr. Freeze is like, I can't fight the Bat right now. I'm too underpowered. And she goes, don't worry about it. You go and get your fucking diamonds, okay? I'll go and get the broad. I'll go get your wintry wife. And he goes, thank you, Poison Ivy. It's very good. And he runs away. He runs away. And he, at this point, Poison Ivy is like, I'm going to fucking, waft my pits. So the pheromone starts coming out. And fucking Batman and Robin, they smell, the pit fumes of Poison Ivy. He's like, we got to go and fucking get her. And so they go down the ladder, chat, trying to find her and shit. Oh, no, but then she starts wooing both of them, chat. She starts using her pheromones and shit, throw them at him. And, she's trying to, trick Robin, and Batman's like, fucking Robin, don't listen to her, she's using pheromones on us, she's trying to trick us. She's like, fuck you, Bruce, you're just upset that she wants me over you. And then Batman's attacked by fucking Bane, Chad. He's like, Batman, we finally fight each other. And he starts throwing around everything while she's trying to fucking kiss Chris O'Donnell, chat. But then Bane and Batman's fight's getting so chaotic at this point. Robin's like, no, I gotta help Batman. And he goes in there and Bane fucking grabs and starts beating the shit. So I'm gonna punch you. He just starts punching the shit out of Robin. Thank you, Katie, for the 5 minutes. Like I told Lady Freeze when I pulled her plug, this is a one-woman show. We'll get to that. We'll get to that in a bit. I have a problem with that scene and how that is perfectly recorded. We'll get to it. But yeah, there's fighting, and then Batman, he falls into apparently a whole bunch of potato sacks, and Ivy starts wooing Batman at this point, and we get like, I have no time for you, Ivy, and we see the most awkward fucking shot of George Clooney trying to stand up in the Batman suit. Because this is the time, shit, the Batman suit, it was one fucking piece. Like, you could not turn your neck. You have to turn your entire, like, lower body, Chet. And we see him struggle to get up. And, like, Poison Ivy just fucking watching him. At this point, he fucking, Batman, he goes out and they start beating the shit out of Bane. Bane topples over. But Robin is just, you just fucking want Ivy. He's like, that's not it. That's not it. Okay? We got to stop Ivy. She's a bad guy. She's clearly in league with Mr. Freeze. Okay? We need to stop her. He's like, no, fuck you, Bruce. And Robin instantly starts trying to punch George Clooney. He's like, stop. What are you doing? And he's like, I have enough of this. And he just grabs him shit and throws him into a vat of fucking of melted ice cream. He's like, oh, I'm drowning, Bruce. He's like, God, good fucking riddance. He's like, whatever. While Poison Ivy and Bane make their getaway, Chad. They make their getaway. And then, Chad, we see Poison. Oh, during this whole fucking shenanigans, Chad, Mr. Freeze, he somehow has a freeze the lair level, lever, where he's like, he sees Pat Hingle and the Gotham GCPD just standing around. It's like, oh, whatever. This looks mysterious. This is weird. He pulls his fucking lever, chat, and it starts freezing the air. And apparently, all the cops' lungs begin to freeze. At this point, he starts, like, grabbing all of his diamonds and all of his technology and laser gun and shit. He's like, yeah, this is what I need. But Pat Hingle's like, you want a job to do, Pat Hingle? Boy, would I. And so Pat Hingle gets to crawl across the icy floor, chat, and get to the unfreeze the room lever, pulls it down or pulls it back up. And the room magically begins to reheat. And they, even though their lungs fucking froze, they were just chasing after Mr. Freeze. And, apparently, Chad, everyone owns a fucking spiral staircase in their abode in Gotham. And all these cops are going up these fucking spiral staircase, but Mr. Freeze just kicks them, and they all tumble back down. Good old Pat Hingle goes, oh, Jesus, God, we're so incompetent. But Mr. Freeze fucking escapes with all of his fucking diamonds and his laser beams. Meanwhile, Poison Ivy, she said, I'll get your wife. How is she supposed to get the wife? How is she going to get her out of the fucking tube? That's there's like, he didn't tell me what to do. But she does a really shitty thing, Chad. She goes, this is a one-woman show, back to tank lady. And she shuts down the thing, Chad. She unplugs all the shit and kills Nora Freeze. Oh my God, the stakes are fucking high at this point. Like, this isn't good. This isn't good at all, Chad. And so at this point, also, fucking Poison Ivy says, when she was trying to woo Robin at the time, she's like, what if instead of a bat signal, there was a Robin signal out there? Remember that for the specific point in the movie? Bye-bye! And she leaves after that. We go back to the Batcave, and Robin is just so fucking pissed. At Batman. He's like, fuck you, Batman. Oh, that's the thing. Even before that, because after Batman scoops him out of the ice cream, just fucking get your hands off me. Like, you can't be taken seriously when you are covered head to toe in mint chocolate chip ice cream. He's like, we're through, Batman. I'm going solo. And he walks away. And Commissioner Gordon's like, what the fuck happened? They got away? Are you serious? Batman's like, I don't fucking know, man. I don't know. My head won't stop bobbing. And eventually, Chad, they go back to the stately Wayne Manor, and things are just not going well. Alfred is even sicker, and him and fucking Bruce have a good old conversation. He's like, Alfred, I know you're sick. I know you're sick, Big Bad Al. And he's like, I tried to keep it from you for as long as I could. I'm fucking Batman, man. I'm a master detective. I know how my butler's health is doing. Like, what the hell are you trying to do, Alfred? He's like, I'm trying to contact my brother Wilfred. So we find out why he's trying to contact his brother Wilfred. Chad, apparently, he says he knows that Batman's going to need help, and it's imperative that Wilfred leave his fucking job working for Indian royalty, making millions of dollars every year, and come to Gotham City and help Bruce in his vigilantism. Why would the brother agree to that? I don't fucking know, but that's the big fucking plan. And, then we get all the fucking flashbacks of how, Alfred, you're like my fucking dad. And he's like, you're like my son. It's very, very, very nice, very nice. It's good times, chat. Eventually, but, then fucking, Robin's all pissed off and he's whining and everything. Eventually, we cut back to the lair of Poison Ivy and now Mr. Freeze. She comes on in. It's like, I don't like what you done with the place. He has his own Freeze section of their lair. And he goes, where is my wife? And he goes, I'm sorry, but Batman and Robin unplugged her before I could do anything. She's dead. He's like, you lie! And she shows, she gives him the necklace. She gives him the necklace to have the snowflake. He goes, no, my beautiful wife, my beautiful snowflake, no. And she goes, you know what? let's get back at Batman and Robin. And not only Batman and Robin, but all the fucking people of Gotham, right? All of humanity's like, yes, we shall do that. If I am made to suffer, they will suffer too. I will coat Gotham and the world in ice, yes. And she's like, yeah. And when the ice is when the whole world is covered in ice, it will be born anew. Will be. And she said, it's kind of. I would have been very concerned if I was Bane, because, and she says, we'll be the only two people living on it. And if I was Bane, I'd be like, question, what do you mean two? Am I also involved? Like, I would be very fucking scared if I was Bane. And he said, we'll be the only two people alive. So I imagine she was just going to dispose of Bane at you know, after their plan happened. Like, I don't know. It's very curious. Batman owns all the Pennyworths, apparently. No, apparently. But I would have been very, very fucking concerned if I was Bane at this point. I was like, am I also included in the duo? Apparently not, Bane. Fuck you. We're going to kill you as soon as we're done doing this shit. And so that's the plan, chat. We're going to freeze Gotham and then the world, okay? That's how it's going to work. So serious fucking business. Now, the stakes are extremely high at this point. But what happened? Oh, yeah. I think at one point, they like, oh yeah, they go to like some fucking like Batman. It's the day the observatory opens for the public and shit. We see one scene of Batman going on this, like, they're having like an in-house date with his girlfriend. Apparently they've been going out for a year. I don't know what her name is. They don't even say her fucking name, but apparently this lady, as they're dating, like just having lunch, they're having dinner in the house or something. She's like, Bruce, I just wanted to talk to you. Listen, we've been going out for over a year. I just wanted to ask you, like, are you really serious about this relationship? I mean, I want to get fucking married. I want to have your babies. And he's like, listen, I'm not the fucking marrying, baby having type. And she goes, I know that you're, you know, that part of being the eligible bachelor, that's part of your image. But it's just like, I love you, Bruce. I love you. And when he's like, he's bobbing his head, he goes, no, he opens his eyes shut. And all he does, he sees his Ivy. All he sees is Ivy, and he's like, oh, shit. And Ivy's, like, appearing, like, looking behind, like, the pillars in his manor and, like, is on the roof in the corner, like, you want this, don't you? He's like, huh? He's really freaked out about it. And then eventually he, like, bobs his head a few more times. And then he's like, well, listen, you just fucking think about all the marriages and all the babies I can give you. And she smooches him, Chad. And he closes his eyes and they smooch. And he opens his eyes. It's Poison Ivy. He goes, whoa! And he fucking hits her. And she goes, what the fuck? And he's like, I'm sorry. I thought you were someone else. And eventually, she forgives him. Happy International Women's Day, chat. And they go to the opening of the big old Hawken Observatory and the giant statue. And during this, Ivy, she's like, well, I want to make sure that I can woo Robin and defeat the dynamic duo. She's like, while you handle fucking Batman and Robin, or no, you freeze Gotham, I'll kill Batman and Robin. That's the plan. We're going to split. We're going to divide and fucking conquer. That's what we're going to do. And so she goes ahead and she woos the shit of good old Pat Hingle, chat. She's asking, where you fucking keep the bat signal, which I don't think is a big fucking mystery. And he's like, oh, it's on top of police headquarters. And she goes, excellent. She's about to kiss Pat Hingle. But she goes, you're fucking too old and gross for me. And he goes, no, I'm not. I'm not too old and gross. Come back. Come back. But because she's like wafting her pit pheromones everywhere, chat, Bruce, he gets a good old Hawken whiff. And he's like, wait a minute, Poison Ivy's here. And he sees fucking Pat Hingle all like, all funny, all jerpy and shit. And eventually he goes back home. She goes back home. And Alfred's not doing great shit. Alfred's looking like shit. Actually, no, it's before this. Alfred, he's at his computer. He's looking like shit. And he's recording a message. He's like, I can't find my fucking brother Wilfred, but I'm recording this because it's imperative that you know about all this stuff and you come to Gotham City and help Bruce Wayne be Batman. That's just how it is. Record message, save as Batman, okay? Batman shit. And he ejects the message. And then fucking Alicia Silverstone, she's in the movie still, by the way, chat. She's still in the fucking movie. She goes like, why are you here? She comes in, she goes, what's wrong, Uncle Alfred? He's like, I'm fucking dying. She goes, oh no. And he's like, listen, you need to somehow leave here now and take this to my brother Wilfred in India. You got to go to India. I don't know where the fuck he is, but you got to find him in a country that has over, 1.7 billion people. There's a lot of people in India, all right? You got to find him somewhere. I'm like, okay. And he's like, I'm going to go take a nap because I'm not feeling great. And she's like, well, fuck this. And she tucks him in, and she's like, I'm going to hack this shit. So she's like, I got to hack this stuff. Meanwhile, fucking, a fucking Robin symbol shows up in the sky. And at this point, it's like, oh, Poison Ivy, she got to Gotham, the PD, got to the GCPD. She fucked up the bat single, put a Robin single on there because she's like, I got to woo this bird boy, okay? I got to make him sow his wild oats in me and then kill him. That's what has to happen. And so Robin sees, he's like, I gotta get going. And fucking Bruce is like, fuck, Dick, she's clearly trying to kill you. He's like, you're just jealous of her. You're just jealous of the two of us and that she loves me, doesn't want an old man like you. So fuck you, Bruce. And he takes off in the Robin mobile chat and he goes after Poison Ivy. Meanwhile, Bruce is like, I don't know what the fuck to do. And he goes and see Alfred. Alfred's fucking dying and shit. And apparently he has stage 1 of the disease. I forget what it was called again. But he has the freeze disease, and it's not going well. And we get a really, I'll say this. Like, I talked a lot of shit about this movie. It's fucking goofy as hell. But this is a great goddamn one. When George Clooney and Michael Gould are actually acting. And Michael Gould is saying, like, listen, I've raised you since you were 10. You're not just my employer. You're my son. And I love you. And Bruce is like, I fucking love you too, Dad. And they fucking hug and he kisses Alfred and he's like petting his head and shit. It's so sad. He's like, if I can find a cure for the freeze disease, I will, man. I fucking will. Fucking conveniently, Arnold Schwarzenegger, he knows the cure. We'll find out at the end of the movie. And so he's like, I gotta suit up. I gotta save the city. I gotta stop this shit. I gotta stop, Robin from being such a dick. It's like, he just wants to be your family, Bruce. You have to accept him. You have to accept him as your family. He's like, oh, shit, okay. And so right before Robin's about to leave and fight Poison Ivy, like, Bruce confronts him. He says, listen, Dick, all right, listen, I'm asking you as a partner, as a brother, as a family, will you trust me? And apparently, Chad, despite everything, this convinces Robin, like, okay, despite me just being an asshole for the whole movie, I believe you now because you acknowledge me. And so they fucking ride off. Meanwhile, Alicia Silverstone, Barbara Pennyworth, she starts hacking. It's that 90s hacking, chat. And she goes to the computer, and she starts putting in all the passwords. Like, what's Alfred's password? Is it Alfred? It's like, literally, chat. This is the level. It's like, okay, I got to hack this, like, right now. She puts in, is the password Alfred? Fuck, it's not. Is it Pennyworth? No, fuck. Oh God, is it England? It's just thinking of names. Like, thinking of the most obvious things that are connected to Alfred. His name, his last name, his country of origin. And then, chat, she notices the picture of her mom, Margaret, who I believe is Gloria Stewart, and says, love Peg. He's like, it's Peg? And then she types in Peg, chat, but he actually hit the search bar, and she's introduced to the world of pegging. She goes, Alfred, oh my God, what are you doing? But then she switches back to the file, and she types in Peg chat, and it's just all of Alfred's porn, but within Alfred's porn chat, it's a facade. It's a facade of porn. And we see Katie, thank you for the 5 biddies. Hey, Chris, I'm dying. I'm glad you're enjoying it. I'm glad you're enjoying yourself. But through the facade of porn chat, the first file says Batman, and all the Batman stuff pops up. She goes, oh my God, like, that's the thing. And then chat, she's like, the fucking Bruce Wayne is Batman? Holy shit. And then she goes down into, the Batcave, chat, and she's like, whoa, it's the Batcave, it's awesome. And then Alfred somehow is woken back up. No, he's still dead, but or he's dying. But she goes down in the Batcave, chat. I forgot about this. This was Jarvis before Jarvis. Alfred, apparently, chat, it starts, there's an, like, alert. And he's like, Uncle Alfred, it's okay, it's me, it's me. And then the fucking Bat computer pops on, and we see Michael Gould. So Alfred, he goes, hello, Brian's all, like, staticky and weird and, like, jumping around. Looks like what's the guy? Max Headrew? Who was the guy from that 80s MTV show who, like, talk like this? It's like, basically, it's an AI butler. She's like, Uncle Alfred, what are you? He's like, I have, recorded my brainwaves, and now I'm a part of the Batcave, and the Batcave is Max Headroom. That's it. Max Headroom. Thank you. He's like Max Headroom. He's all creepy and staticky and jumping and everything. It's very segmented. And she's like, whoa, that's like so cool. So you're like a computer now? He goes, yes, you idiot. And she goes, cool. I want to be like a bat person too. And he goes, all right. And she's like, suit me up, Uncle Alfred. And then we get the glory shots. We see the bat butt. They stick her big thick ass in a bat suit. Prominent female bat nipples, just going off and everything. And boom, she is Batgirl, and she takes off in a hovercraft. Meanwhile, we were at the lair of Poison Ivy. And Robin is there, chat. And, you know, she's sitting in this giant Venus flytrap. It's like, oh, interesting. She's like, yes, like what you see. He's like, hell yeah, I do. And he goes up to her. And she starts putting all her pheromone armpit stuff in, though, just wafting, check, just wafting. And he's like, oh, it's great. And she goes, would you like a kiss? He goes, yeah. And he fucking kisses her. And the thing is, though, Chad, the thing is, he's like, well, now you're fucking dead, bird boy. He goes, no, because I'm wearing plastic lips. And he peels off the plastic lips saying, you can't kill me, Poison Ivy Patooey. And she's like, fuck you. And she pushes him inside this water, Chad, where he gets all tangled up in these, like, very, very fake-looking vines, Chad, and they're holding him in the water. Meanwhile, fucking Batman comes in and is like, I'm going to turn you into fucking mulch plant, lady. And it's like, oh, shit. And then, chat, she summons her other vines, and they wrap up Batman. It's like, time to wrap up your stuff, Batman. And he gets wrapped up in the vines, like, oh, shit. But then who comes in through fucking overhead, chat? Boom! It's revealed. It's revealed that it's Batgirl. And it's like, oh, my God. They give her fucking high heels, which is what? The biggest, tallest high heels imaginable. You can't fucking fight in high heels. Why do they keep doing that? They got her in high heels, chat, and she's just fucking stumbling around and shit. And it was like, oh, I'm gonna fucking beat the show. You give girls a bad name, Poison Ivy. And she kicks Poison Ivy's ass, chat. And this is weird. Also, it's revealed during this whole fight that it's like, I'll tell you like I told Freeze. This is a one-woman show. Before I killed Lady Freeze, this is a one-woman show. And it's like framed like it's in a movie. Like, this is her scene, and we cut back to Barbara. It's like, it's just weird how they record this somehow. We'll get to that in a bit. And, you know, Barbara kicks her ass. And then she's eaten by her own Venus flytrap chair. So I'm confused. Like, why did her Venus... Oh, yeah, rubber tongue, too. I guess, I don't know. It doesn't make... Yeah, rubber lips are immune to your charms. But she's then eaten by her own Venus flytrap chair, which I don't understand. I thought the plants are loyal to her. It doesn't make any goddamn sense. And they defeat Poison Ivy. Yeah, but oh no, fuck, we cut back to Mr. Freeze, chat. And apparently they have no security on staff. They only have two goddamn scientists that are working on the observatory on the telescope. And Mr. Freeze comes, yeah, this is quite the show. Because he's going to use the telescope, chat, to freeze all of Gotham City. It's going to be turned into a giant ice gun. And later the world, and he'll be able to use, apparently, he'll shoot the ice beam into space, and it'll bounce off all of the satellites, and that'll freeze the planet. Also, for just in case of a plan B, Bane gets his best line. He's like, Bane, put all these bombs around the telescope so if things go tits up, we can explode it. He's like, bomb. Oh, yes, explosions. I shall place the bombs all around the telescope. And he placed all the bombs around there. And meanwhile, while I was doing the shave, these two scientists are like, who the hell's this nutball? Literally, that's a line. And he goes, shut up and freeze. And he freezes these two. Now, by the way, we learned, chat, that there's a grace period. If you manage to unfreeze someone, melt someone within 11 minutes, you can survive. These people are frozen for like much longer than that, and they somehow survive. So that whole freezing thing, that's bullshit. Freezes both of them, chat. And he's prepared as like, yes, for a new age, the Ice Age will dawn upon all of Gotham. Well, and he starts freezing everybody, chat, in a very comedic way. So we got this one guy go to the telephone booth. He's like, oh, he's frozen. We see one little precious-looking bulldog, chat. He's so smushed in, derpy face. He's going to take a good old piss on a fire hydrant. He's frozen mid-pee, chat. That's a fate worse than death. The pee is frozen inside of him. Oh, it's terrible. And then at this point, fucking Batman, Robin, and Batgirl, they're all in their various Toys R Us vehicles or McDonald's toys, which you get with every Happy Meal, and they're seeing all of Gotham being frozen. Like, we got to get to the observatory and stop Freeze. Let's fucking go. And so they go there, Chet. They go there. And, like, how the fuck are we supposed to get up there? And they start launching all their goddamn various, batarangs and grappling hooks, Chad, and it carries them up there. It carries them up. And, Batman's like, okay, you guys, because that Mr. Freeze sees them. He's like, Bane, we must be very careful now. We must be stealthy. And then we'll surprise the heroes. And they hide while, Batman and Robin are like, okay, we're going to fucking unfreeze these two. Batman's like, I'm going to unfreeze these two scientists, right? Melts them and shit. And he places them on the very edge of the telescope. You just wait here, okay, out of harm's way. Batgirl, Robin, you unfreeze the solar panels. That's what we're going to do. We're going to, apparently, it's so fucking bizarre. Even though Gotham is frozen, we're going to direct the satellites in such a way where they will absorb heat, and the heat will go back into the freeze gun, and then we'll shoot out a heat beam. Sure, okay, we'll just fuck it. It doesn't make any sense, but okay, we'll do that. And so they start doing that. They're like, okay, let's unfreeze Gotham. And they start doing that a little bit. And start unfreezing parts. But oh no, oh shit, fuck. The Mr. Freeze bamboozles Batman. They start fucking fighting, chat. Meanwhile, Bane, he gets the drop. He gets the goddamn drop on Batgirl and Robin. He starts beating the shit out of them. He's choking the shit out of them. He's like, down with the oppressors. The proletariat shall fall and the people shall rise. And they realize it's like, oh shit, in order to stop him from fucking sounding like a derpy Sean Connery and from him having big old swole muscles, we gotta unplug his venom tube at the back of his head. And so they start kicking him. They start kicking his head. He's like, stop kicking my head. It hurts. I will get a concussion. But they kick him so many times, Chad, that the tube eventually falls free from the hole in his head. And all the venom starts. He's like, no, I am becoming weaker. No, the people shall rise. And he falls down. He gets all skinny again. He gets all skinny down. And they're like, cool. Now let's go help Batman. And the thing is, though, Batman and Mr. Freeze are still fucking hitting each other and shit. It's like, you will freeze in hell, Batman, and all that shit. And eventually, though, Batman, he puts like a little, like, I don't know, like heater on Mr. Freeze's chest, and he fucking hits that shit, and bah, he knocks him over, and he goes, and he falls down. And it's like, it's over, Freeze. And he's like, no, hell will freeze over before I'm defeated. Bye-bye, heroes. And he activates the fucking bombs, Chad, the ice bombs. And they all go off. It's like, oh no, holy shit. And the fucking the whole giant telescope starts falling. And, you know, Alicia Silverstone, Chris O'Donnell, they see all this shit. Oh, goddamn fucking troll. No lifer, go ahead and ban that person. Oh, oofa. Big time oofa. You interrupting my fucking review, ass. You're interrupting my review. I'm almost done, and you were interrupting me. You are banned. I did it. You were destroyed. Freeze in hell, no lifer. And so the telescope's falling, and then, you know, Alicia Silverstone's like, what should we do? And Chris O'Donnell says, we pray. It's like, really? And then, meanwhile, Batman, he's on the telescope, and he grabs the two sides, like, hold on, stop screaming. They're like, but he grabs them, Chad, and the telescope falls down to Gotham, kills hundreds of fucking people, and he drops them off on a little iceberg, and they're like, thanks, Batman, woo, go Batman, Robin, and the new girl. And he flies up there, Chad. And, you know, they're all fucking panicking at this point because it's like, oh, the telescope's gone. We can't unfreeze Gotham. But apparently, chat, they can. All they need is a computer expert. And thankfully, chat, Batgirl is a master computer hacker, chat. We know her hacking skills. Okay, she's good at guessing passwords, all right? You know, look at Alfred's. Like, is Alfred's password Alfred, Pennyworth, or England? No, it's just Peg. And so they go to the telescope, chat. And the only way they can apparently reprogram the satellites to absorb all the heat from the sun and direct them at Gotham, chat, they need to put in a password. Like, oh my God, what's the password? But thank God, fucking Alicia Silverstone is there, chat. She says, okay, well, let's think of passwords, all right? And she's like, I know what it is. And she types in telescope. And lo and behold, chat, lo and behold, that is the password they need. And it starts heating Gotham. And Gotham is unfrozen. Chad, the fucking guy in the phone booth, he's unfrozen. The cops are okay. The bulldog is able to piss and he runs off. There's adorable little smush face, derpy bulldog. He runs off. Everyone's safe. Everyone lives. Thank fucking God. And they all go over to fucking Mr. Freeze, like, I fucking hate you all. You will vengeance upon my wife. I'll never help you. And Batman's like, listen, Freeze, that was bullshit. Poison Ivy lied to you. He's like, no, she didn't. She told the truth. And he's like, here, I have the evidence. And we see, Chef, somehow Batman, he shows footage of Poison Ivy as it was shown to us before. It's like, as I told Mrs. Freeze, this is a one-woman show. When I killed Mrs. Freeze, this is a one-woman show. And then it's like, how did you get that? How did you get that shot? How is that possible for you to get that? It doesn't make any fucking sense. And then we get the ultimate from Arnold. It's like, that's where that whole thing comes from. Of him making those fucking sounds, like his rage. Like, where is that fucking camera? The same exact angle. They didn't get like a piece of audio recording. He's like, oh, and then Bruce is like, at this point, he's like, listen, she was, but Victor, we saved her. We off screen, we got to her in time, and your wife is fine. He goes, oh, that's very nice of you, thank you. He's like, listen, there's one thing I need from you though. All right. I know that you treating this fucking McGregor disease, whatever the hell it is. I have someone who's also being afflicted by it. All right. I want to save them. They only have stage 1. I know that your wife has this advanced stage. Please help me, because I know deep and down inside you, okay, you're beneath the snow, Victor, beneath the snow. That good man of Dr. Victor Freeze is still there. Please help me, doctor. And he's like, okay. And he takes out, apparently, Chad, he has the cure in his suit. He pops open his suit and takes out 2 vials. He's like, take 2 of these and call me in the morning, like an actual doctor. He goes, hey, buddy, thank you so much. It's going to save a life tonight. Also, by the way, I'm going to ship your wife to Arkham, and you'll have access to all their lab facilities where you can continue your research. And Mr. Freeze is like, that's cool. Thank you, Batman. He goes, And it's like, yeah. And then we cut. We're back at fucking home, and they inject the stuff into Alfred. They're like, okay, we gotta wait to make sure he's okay. When they inject the stuff, and it's like, well, what do we do now? We wait. And then, chat, we cut to Gotham. We cut to Arkham Asylum, and where Poison Ivy's just like has a flower. She's fuck flower. She's just pulling the petals off of it. She's like, he loves me. He loves me. He loves me. He loves me not. He loves me. He loves me not. And it's like, it's revealed. It's like, whoa, he's in the suit and everything. Mr. Freeze comes out. He's like, yes, I know what you did, Poison Ivy. And I'm your new cellmate. And I'm going to make your time here a living hell. And it's like, what does that imply? So I'm a little curious about this. He's like, I'm going to make your time here a living hell. What's he going to fucking do to her? It's like, that's kind of ominous. Like, I know she's a fucking megalomaniac and supervillain, but it's like, what does that mean? Happy International Women's Day, chat. Oh, yeah, he says Adam and Evil. I forgot I'm sorry, chat. During their whole fucking monologue, when they're planning to, we'll be the only 2 living creatures minus Bane on the planet, it will be Adam and Evil. It's like, okay. And so, it's a co-ed jail, which is weird. And he's gonna, I don't know, is it gonna rape her? It's like, what the fuck's going on? It's very ominous. And she's like, oh, fuck. We don't know. And then we cut, Chad, we're back at Wayne Manor. And, they're all, apparently, Chad, in the 5 hours that Alfred hasn't cleaned up the place, they completely tear it apart. Empty pizza boxes and the bat suits, like, all over the place. Pieces of the bat suit, Batwoman suit, all over the place. And Alfred just comes on down and is like, well, I'm very disappointed that you guys haven't picked up that or something. Like, Alfred, you're okay. Yay, Uncle Alfred. He goes, yeah, I'm fucking fine. You already destroyed the goddamn place. And he's like, come here, you fucking lugs. He all hugs him and shit and chat. And he's like, oh, Uncle Alfred, I'm just so glad to see that you're okay. Me too, honey. I'm glad I'm not dead too. It's been great. Thank you, Nabahe, for the host. Welcome, Nabahe. Hope you're having a fantastic evening. Currently almost done my Batman Robin review. And she goes, well, at this point, I think I should probably stick around. And Bruce is like, I've shared my secret with a lot of people over the goddamn years, okay? It's like, at this point, there's even a line later on, like earlier in the movie, where it's like, well, fucking Batgirl is not very PC, I guess. And Robin's like, well, we're going to have to fucking kill her, right? Bruce like, oh, the other women? He's like, yeah, we'll have to kill her. But until then, we'll stop Mr. Freeze. So this is why I thought Bruce was just going to go, bang, shoot her or some shit. But he's like, no, you're going back to school, and, when you come here for spring break and summer vacation, you can be Batgirl. And she's like, yay! And Chris O'Donnell's like, nice. And Alfred says, we're gonna need a bigger cave. And then we get the bum, 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 like the bat symbol in background. You see all 3 of them running towards the camera, chat, just like, yeah, Batman, Robin, and Batgirl. And that, my friends, that shoots her the back on the grappling right through the eye. And that, my friends, is Batman and Robin, the 1997 Joel Schumacher Schlockfest classic. Boom! Carl, I think the 10 minutes Bruce got in contact with the film editor to get the footage. Get me that footage. Yeah, just edit her out. That's the thing barely you can do. Plays Kiss from a Rose. It's a branding. Yeah, this is exactly. Very mirrors that. It was Batman and Robin. This time it's Batman, Robin, and Batgirl. Boom. There you go, Chad. Hope you guys enjoyed the review for Batman and Robin. I will do that. How many Batman movies have I done? I've done 66 Batman, Batman Beyond Return of the Joker, and Batman and Robin. Oh, and Batman Begins. So I've done 4 Batman films of various qualities across my channel, Chad. I hope to do all of the live-action Batman films someday. I believe my next one, like, might be either Batman Forever. Oh, no. It's an animated film. It's Batman Mask of the Phantasm, I think, chat. That'll be the next one in the future. Big man, I've seen Clooney suit in real life and confirm it doesn't need to have nipples. Yeah, it does. Boo! Wrecked. James Gravy. Thank you. Now, I hope you guys enjoyed the review. I hope you enjoyed the ice puns. You know, I hope you enjoyed my take on these characters. How is all Actor's fault in the film? Yeah, it's not. George Clooney recently said it's my fault the movie's bad. It's not his fault. It's not. Okay, it's WB, it's Toys R Us, it's McDonald's, and it's Joel Schumacher. And the writers. It's their fault. Deadpool, thank you for the 5 minutes. Batgirl was created for the comics because censors didn't like the idea of an older rich man running off with a younger boy in tights. Wow, I had no idea. Oh, shit. I love Batgirl. I love Barbara Gordon as Batgirl. Hamilton, that was fun. No, I'm glad you guys enjoyed it. Thank you for all your generosity, and I'm so happy you had fun with the review, chat. But now I'm going to take a very brief break. I'm going to take a very brief break. I'm going to refill my beverage. Okay? And I'm going to come back, and we're going to get into some gameplay shenanigans. I told you this would be a long review, chat. This is probably, what, 2 hours? 2-hour review. Not surprised at all. Fun fact, because of the huge success of Batman Forever, Warner Bros. Fast Track Batman and Robin to get a summer 97 release. That probably didn't help either. That did not help that fast track. But there you go, chat. I'm just going to take a brief break. I'll be right back. Continue to share fun facts of each other. Stick around. Yay.